Hey, it's me, Puppet DM, and I'm here to tell you all about the sponsors we have here at the Wandering Society. We're sponsored here by Mage Hand Press, makers of a bunch of 5th edition supplements, like the Book of Kobold or their series of new classes. And don't forget, Arcmada, the amazing sci-fi fantasy campaign setting for the world's greatest role-playing game. Be sure to check them out at store.mageandpress.com. Up next, we have Roll20. It's the platform we use here at the Wandering Society to play all of our games. It's easy to use, intuitive, and it now comes with Dark Mode. Be sure to check them out at roll20.net. We're also sponsored by R. Talsorian Games. R. Talsorian Games make great RPGs, and they've been doing so since the early 90s. Check their books. They've got Cyberpunk Red, which Simon tells me has been played here extensively, Castle Falkenstein, which also has been played here, and The Witcher, which has also been. Okay, we get it! Check them out at your FLGS or online at rtalsoriangames.com. Have you ever wanted to wake up and smell the coffee? Well, now you can with this next sponsor, Found Familiar. Get yourself some damn good coffee at foundfamiliar.com and use the code on the screen to get 15% off. What do you mean I can't drink coffee? What the fuck is felt? And we couldn't end this segment without talking about our good friends at Die Hard Dice. That's right. As a Dice affiliate, we are proud to partner with Die Hard Dice to bring you only the best in shiny click-clacks. Click-clacks? What is... Ow. You can check their ever-growing collection over at dieharddice.com and use the link below to get 15% off. You're putting this all on me? I better get a cut. Good evening. Mysteries. The kindred are not the only supernatural thing in our world, though they like to style themselves as the apex when it comes to their relationship with Kine, and often other supernaturals. The truth is far different, far scarier. There are things man was not meant to know. And then there are things kindred weren't meant to fuck with. I'm Simon at Wandering DM. Very short intro, but I will be your storyteller for a longer session. We delve back into Montreal by night. Get on with our story, shall we?
Hey, hello everyone. What is going on with Roll20? There we go. Hello. Welcome to The Cams Aren't in the Right Place, Part 2.
I could be Flory.
And now everyone is where they should be. Behold, a guest. But before we get into our game and we continue the events of last week with a small tangent to finish a scene with Mr. Harris, let's go around the table and introduce our recurring players and our guest. We'll start with Irja. Hello, welcome back. How are you?
Hey y'all, I'm doing good. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax at Church Gentleman on Twitter, or Prax Go with me before you see me around here on Twitch. And I get to play Flory Winters, and she is not making $1.2 million tonight. She might have to kill a bunch of things though. It's complicated. We'll see.
If said things can be killed. Speaking of something that cannot be killed is our next player's fear of their sire. Hi, Pope.
Hey. Accurate. Ow. Hey, everybody. Pope here. Pope Rollbill on Twitter, Pope Rollbill on Twitch. I'm looking at all your streams. It's great to be back here with the Montreal by Night crew playing Arthur Porter. Both of us use he, him pronouns. And few things about tonight. One, try and be polite, go by the rules of etiquette, and when in doubt, arson is always an option.
I did not think about a segue for our next player. So, hi, Trooper.
I love arson. There's your segue. Arson, ick, and old lace. I'm Trooper SJP, and I am playing Lucky, who is hanging out as a carpenter. And I feel like when we start, I'll have a couple of questions, and I feel like everything's going to be awesome. I mean, for someone.
The screaming was because of enthusiasm.
Yep.
Not only did I forget a segue for Trooper, I also forgot something that I had put in my mind notes.
Oh, I've got my notes.
But that's cool. I'll roll with it. Speaking of, I don't know. Hi, our guest. Hello, Lindy.
Thank you, Simon. I thought I was the only one who was terrible at segues, and now I feel moderately better about myself and the past 5-6 years of streaming. So yes, hi, I'm Lindy, Laugh Love Lindy, and I am here to reprise my role as Folly Watson, once known as silent film actress Barbara Lamar, who is a Malkavian social media influencer and aspiring actress. Her hobbies enjoy her anything involving her, film, photographs of her, and her pet turtle.
Did you blood bond your turtle? Is it a ghoul?
No, I don't have turtles. Just live a long time.
I just want to make sure that this is part of the show. Lucky, your cam's off.
Oh. Hold on. It shouldn't be. Give me 1 second.
He was questioned by the voice.
It's because yeah, that's the thing. I thought it was like the whole like you saw darkness and then you saw the abyss.
No,
and
I just started talking and he was like, "Ew," and he had to leave.
That was like, I cannot.
He was like, "Turtles, I'm out."
I don't deal with
it. Was
That's
too much.
Me.
Turtles are too scary. Do you know what I mean? Have you seen them?
You mean adorable?
Where there are turtles,
and a cherished, long-lived companion. That's much nicer and doesn't say mean things about you.
So can any properly ghoulified animal.
Yeah,
that said,
fair, but,
Speaking of last week we had a different guest. Mr. Rick Harris, played by Tyler Boyce. When we ended our session last time, the voice of Rick's child came out of the holes. That Flory. I am going to mix their names. Flory and Folly tonight. Flory and Folly. Flory and Folly. The Flory had thrown bolts through the windows of the manor to just make little holes from which we saw that sort of like wispy, dark smoke come out. But given that, it also enabled anyone inside the house from hearing what was going on outside. And Monet Wolf heard her sire's voice and just called out to her sire. To wrap things up.
It's about 11 o'clock, right?
It's about 11 o'clock at night. Monet came out of the house. Not through the front door.
Well, in that case, can I make a roll, please?
Yes.
What is the difficulty for my terror frenzy check?
Ooh, that would be a good question. If I had the book open. I'd say with what you saw...
4, 5?
I wouldn't say 5, because I like to think that there could be something worse. So let's do 4.
4. Okay. Now, I have aggravated willpower damage ever since season 1. So I am at 1 less.
That never
willpower
healed.
to resist.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, you can't heal aggravated willpower unless you make progress towards your ambition.
Yep. No, that's what I meant. It never healed because...
Nope. I don't think it ever will, actually. So let's see. I'm down to, for willpower, I'm down to 3. And I do get 1 bonus. Luckily, this is a fear frenzy check and not a fury, because then I'd be down more dice. Let's see. Resist frenzy.
Yes, I'm trying to find the...
I failed. So, you may take over my character.
Give me a quick second.
It's not me anymore.
No, it is not.
Remember how I said that Flory might have to kill something tonight?
Probably gonna be lucky, because he's in full frenzy.
Terror. It's because it's called terror and not fear. Okay.
Yep.
That's okay. I was looking for fear frenzy, and I wasn't sure if they had left the Rothschreck in there.
Yeah, 220. Also, I'd like to note, since I'm probably going to want to be fleeing, I'll probably be fleeing into public with lots of people because we're downtown at 11 o'clock at night. I'm thinking we're going to blow the masquerade all to heck right about now, is what I imagine.
I reiterate my statement.
It will depend. Because now, as you try to resist your frenzy, things are happening. Depending on what you encounter on the way, like you're not necessarily going to fling cars all over the place for fun.
Well, if whatever it is that's in my way is alive, I'll probably kill it. My beast will.
Your ancestors will. You run away. In fact, when you saw what happened, For now, we'll leave it. You saw something. Worse, I'll describe it after your frenzy, if you regain your senses. But it burnt itself so deep within your psyche that it, in a moment, just took over. Lucky falls on his ass backwards, screaming. Just this blood-curdling scream. And then, like a scared animal scrambled up to his feet, ripping through like the grass around him as you tried to get up as quickly as possible. Turned around, bolted over the fence that's in back of the manor, and ran into downtown Montreal. We'll be back for Lucky. He doesn't scream the whole way through. There's a scream and then the running. Meanwhile, Florian, Arthur, and Rick would have seen Monet come out from behind the house. She arrives a bit scared and relieved. She throws herself at Rick and embrace him. Hug him, not the vampiric, Embrace with a lowercase e. And turns to Florian Arthur and say, "Did you know the guy in the backyard?"
Yes, he's a very good friend.
I'm
You
still
two
wearing
should-
Rick's face.
Rick number 2 and Rick number
Yeah,
1
right.
should talk to you.
Why? She moves herself back from the Rick that she embraced and looks him up and down.
This is, and the one in the Hawaiian shirt is Rick number 2. Don't worry, he's not the original Rick. He's a better Rick. This Rick is less of a dick than that Rick. I'm going to go deal with our little friend problem. He said he went that way?
Yes.
Yeah, he jumped over the fence when he saw me come out of the house.
Thanks. Have yourself a great night. We'll talk about the fact that I'm reducing this by 2/3. And she's going after Lucky.
Rick will look at Arthur and say, "I'm going to take care of her. You handle the rest."
Yeah, I'll handle the rest. If that doesn't wash out, pointing to Monet,
Mhm.
bring her back in 6 months and I can fix it.
She turns to you, "Fix me?"
Dear, you've been dealing with abyssal entities. Your color's all wrong.
I've had the weirdest muse. And Rick is...
That wasn't a muse, sweetheart. When you get deprogrammed, you can deal with it and we'll discuss things.
Rick, turns her so that she faces away from the house and sort of, forcefully brings her along. They're going to take a nice, long walk into the night. In the opposite direction that Lucky went towards. Ahead of you, Arthur, the manor. This old red sandstone Victorian building, one of the rare actual Victorian buildings in Montreal. The windows, like we described last week, boarded up or filled with this black sticker on the inside. The 4 windows on the first floor have been vandalized, broken by Flory. The wisps of smoke have stopped leaving. And the weird shadows that the trees were casting on the floor, on the streets, have stopped flickering. After Lucky's ear-piercing scream that even the house fell silent. What do you do?
There's deep breath in and then an exhale as he's walking his gait and his face shift back to who he is this moment. And okay. Are you awake? As I get to the threshold of the actual property line.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one way to find out. And takes thumb, digs on teeth. Let's see what a trickle will do. And drop a little vitae on the property and see what happens.
The stonework is old. You, as a member of the undead, you would need a certain low temperature for you to notice that things have gotten old. But this is like an immediate, it's so cold it burns almost. You rub your thumb on the base of like the where the concrete meets the red sandstone. And for better or worse, nothing happens. At least you don't feel like anything happened.
You're not up yet. Okay. Ooh, so let's sleep. Great. That means it's subconscious funhouse time. I have no backup. Okay. This is an entirely different vehicle kind of problem now. This is not an abduction van problem. This is... I need to change cars. And he will do just that because we're so damn close. He drives the van back and...
well, I mean, you're close to the green.
Yeah. The green has its own garage with a few cars in it.
Okay.
Some are equipped to go. And the car that he grabs from the green, this is a modern car. This is a Rolls-Royce Ghost. That's the trunk, or the boot for our European viewers, has been fully kitted out with all of Arthur's go-to wooshy, ghosty equipment. So we've got, salt, blessed water, silver knife, stuff like that.
You have holy water in the trunk of your car.
Yeah. A car.
Yes.
Car.
I have a question because is it holy water?
Has it been blessed by a priest? Yes.
Well, there's a difference with holy water and holy water.
Will it burn the right people? Yes.
What was the cost?
Oh, a drop in the bucket. All I had to do was put up the funding for a new elementary school. Drop in the bucket. Besides, those kids need a place to stay.
That's true. You grab your ghost hunting car, your ghost busting car. Make your way back to the manor, I suppose.
Yep. Also, change of shoes. Want something that's not quite as conductive. So we're in the big heavy black Doc Martens. We're rocking the shit kickers at this moment.
Mm-hmm. I like to picture that with the cargo shorts and the Hawaiian shirt.
Yep.
As you make your way back to the manor, you will notice 2 police cars. Sirens blaring. Lights on. Just like whooshing past you. On like a perpendicular street. Like a block over. Going into the opposite direction.
That's tomorrow means problem. We're focusing on one thing at a time. They have to have that meeting with the commissioner sooner than later. But that's future me's problem. That's not tonight's me problem.
Group. You make your way back to the manor. Stands as it stood before. Though it takes a second for you to see the holes in the windows again. It seems like the darkness inside sort of tried to fill the holes over the last few minutes.
We don't have someone I at least know of in the Okay. As I gather my kit and get to the threshold. All right. Not that you necessarily hear me, but I'm going to do this as I was instructed. Ground rules. You do something that hurts me, I'm going to hurt you back. If there's something that is making you uncomfortable, give me a sign. That is not an invitation to hurt me. You can point me to what is giving you problems. I will try and solve them. We can make this for mutual benefit, both of us. But you fuck with me, arson is always an option. And while I like my own life, you take it here, I'm going to make sure whatever thing that calls a soul that is a part of this is dragged to hell with me. We clear?
One of the ornaments at the top of the spire, this sort of lightning rod. The top of the lightning rod is like this copper orb. Just detaches itself, rolls down the slanted roof, and falls with a thud mere inches from your left.
All right. Let's try and make this quick for both of us, and you can go back to doing what you should be doing. And I step onto the property.
Again, as I described last week, the front door has big padlock on it.
Yeah, but we both know that's not the door anymore.
You go through the back.
Yeah.
You make your way into the backyard. Inside the house, you happen upon what was once a large, I'm gonna say solar, but it's not a solar. It's like the daytime dining room, like it's like a breakfast nook, but it's the size of an entire room. Instead of just being a nook in pre-existing room. It's kind of like a solarium.
We have a
That-
name for them down here. It's kind of self-aggrandizing. It's called the Florida Room.
Let's call it a Florida room. Except, of course, the wallpaper has been torn down. The walls are stained. The floor itself is uneven, probably due to water damage. There's remnants of furniture. A table missing a leg. A couple of chairs broken in half, as if they had been thrown onto a wall and just shattered. One of them actually looks stable enough when you realize that two of its legs are actually the two legs taken from the fourth chair. There is only place for one person to sit. And even then, that person would just sit facing the rest of the house. At least, according to how the chair is placed right now. The house itself is dark. Unnaturally so. Unless you have some way to shine a light or to accustom your eyes to...
I've got a flashlight.
You turn on the flashlight.
Yeah, the mag light. I'm going to use the small one, not the big one.
You can see in that cone of light, but it seems to be making everything else around darker.
Yeah.
It does not like the light.
I understand you're not necessarily liking this, but I'm not one of you. So if I'm going to find the problem, you'll be able to see. Apologies. Now, I'm guessing this is where you kept your pet. Flashes the light to the chair.
Can you make a wits and awareness roll for me?
Okay.
With a +1 because of the flashlight. Difficulty 3.
Okay.
Oh. As you ask your question and shine, to the chair, you can see for a brief instant the shadows of these broken chairs and furniture on the walls make this sort of maw that was approaching with malicious intent around your own, well, body, I guess? It's strange. The shadow sort of takes up two walls and the floor. And yet, the only thing that casts a light is your flashlight. It seems to not be bothered by the direction that the light comes from. But when you speak, when you ask, the maw recedes a little. And with your 3 successes, you get the feeling that it's just, if it could, it would be looking further down inside the house.
This is not where the pet was kept. This is where your emergency snack was. Okay. So, we're going to have to go further in to find your problem. I apologize. I don't really necessarily enjoy doing this, but again, this is for both of our benefit.
You make your way deeper into the house. There from where you are. Yep, there we go. There's the hall that leads deeper down. And just as you exit this room, there's one to your left. Looks like it was the kitchen. There's a few other doors. Pantries, probably, but the doors themselves have been taken off their hinges. Placed on, against the wall on the ground. Like they were removed for, I don't know, someone was painting and needed to move them out of the way. Not destroyed, not vandalized. However, on each wall of this dining room are paintings. Canvases, most of them, I'd say, 2 by 3 feet. Either landscape or portrait. Some of them are a little bit wider, some of them are a little bit narrower. But they pretty much all fit the same, same size, thereabouts. And they depict alien apocalyptic landscapes. You can see in some of them, just at a glance with the flashlight, that you can almost see the painter's work as it started as something more abstract and went more and more into like H.R. Geiger territory.
Okay.
It's, again, quiet. But 3 successes, you can also hear faintly upstairs. Someone is talking. It's mumbled. It's just a faint.
Is that a snack that I'm hearing upstairs, or is that part of your problem?
House itself. Interpret it as you wish.
That sounds like someone who is in trouble, I'm guessing, from the tone that I got of that mumming and groaning.
It felt more like a conversational tone.
Oh, well, we'll go and say hi.
Well, past the dining room is the staircase that leads upstairs. The rest of the hall, and then you would have, if you're coming that way, on your... Sorry, the dining room was to your right. The kitchen was to your right, my bad. There is a sitting room and a parlor to your left as you move towards the stairs. As you approach the staircase, your foot steps on something sticky. Hear the...
What do I find on my shoe?
blood.
How
Mostly coagulated.
Okay.
Gummy, sticky. Kind of like paint in the last few, maybe hour before it dries.
Now, this is a question that is because of who Pope actually is. How many ants are in here?
Nothing alive.
Okay.
Nothing
That's
crawling. Nothing flying.
That tells me a couple of things. You can tell how old blood is quickly by how many ants are there.
Yes.
Um,
But you can also tell how spooky a place is if the living avoid it.
yeah, if the ants aren't here. All right. Now I'm going to go up these stairs. That is not an invitation for you to do anything. I'm going to find the person that's also conversing. We are going to probably have a discussion. If you want me to leave them be, now is your chance to tell me to leave them alone. All right. I'm going up.
You start climbing up the stairs, and at some point, putting your weight on one of the stairs, it creaks and cracks. Not the way you would expect, under your weight, but the other way. It explodes in a shower of splinters as dark, shadowy tendrils just burst forth like snakes ready to strike. Can you just make Dex and Athletics? And the difficulty will be... It's an opposed roll. I need just a moment. I need just a moment. Ooh, okay. Well, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be difficulty 7.
All right. There is pretty much no way I can achieve that. So I'll roll the 5 dice I've got and see what happens.
Do you want to rouse the blood?
Nope. Don't want to waste on something that's not going to work. Oh.
The tendrils burst out. One of them actually stabs through your calf. Well, stab. I guess just brushes against it. It's an odd feeling. You can feel the searing pain through your bone, through the marrow. But there is nothing that goes through the bone itself or through your leg. When you shine the flashlight on your leg, tendril retreats, but it leaves a blackened streak on your calf. You are going to take 1 aggravated damage.
I warned you.
The tendrils remain, but when you shine your light, they sort of skirt out to avoid. You manage to catch one in like a sliver of light, and you heard for a split second a sizzle.
I said I warned you. Now, I am going to be a man of my word. You hurt me, I hurt you. I'm taking out the holy water.
What are you doing with it?
I'll take out a glow stick, crack it, throw it behind where these little tendrils are gathered.
So
Trying to
like
push them.
closer to the top of the stairs?
Yeah, try and move those tendrils more towards me.
They
I
seem
really
to
wish you had your
all,
holy water in like a spray bottle. You could just be like, bad tentacles, bad. Psst, psst.
they all
Nope.
come out of the
Mason
same
jar.
hole, if you will.
Yeah.
So with the light at the top of the stairs, they would sort of crawl towards you, like algae or seaweed
Yeah.
in the current. But the whatever they're anchored to is still
Yeah.
under the stairs.
Yeah. You hurt me, I hurt you. I undo the mason jar. and flick the water so it cascades up the stairs.
Mm. As
Not
it-
using all of it, but a good slosh. About half of it will be gone.
The spot where you threw the holy water, it might just be because it's the first time that there's any water or liquid thrown against a surface of this house. But it seems like the patch of wood that you threw it on, like old planks that make up the staircase, becomes suddenly cleaner and darker, but not blacker, if it makes sense. It appears like it's been tinted. Wow, I was going to say dyed, but it's not really dyed. It's a...
Stained.
Well, stained. Yeah, thank you. Like it's been freshly stained. The rest of the water trickles down and it creates this stain pattern on the stairs until it starts to drip in the hole. You hear the tss, tss, tss. How much of
Yeah.
that mason jar did you use?
Half.
The snakes, just like the shadows, the wisps that escape the house, turn into these wisps of smoke and dissipate into the surrounding oppressive darkness.
Yeah, I'm a man of my word. You hurt me, I hurt you. What I'm trying to do is for a mutual benefit here. I'm going to go upstairs and talk to whoever Mumbles is up here. If they're gone because of what you've done, I'm just going to leave them here. If it's Black or somebody else, I mean, there could be a discussion. But honestly, I am here just to make it so that you, since you have obviously been summoned here, are okay. I might even buy the property and make sure that you are properly fed. Because being on your right side is better than being on your bad side. But I need you to play ball and continue walking up the stairs.
The rest of the staircase creaks, but nothing cracks, nothing breaks, nothing explodes. When you get to the top, immediately to your left, there is a bedroom. There is light coming out of this bedroom. In fact, the door to it is within arm's reach. You can definitely put your hand through the door frame, if you will. That's how close you are to it. There are other rooms upstairs. From where you stand at the landing, there's another bedroom, kind of like across the hall from you. And then just past the door, the open door to this room with the light, there's a passage that leads further down into the house. Looking quickly at the room across the hall, the door is closed, but you can definitely see with the flashlight there is coagulated blood at the bottom of that door. Almost fused, like fusing the door to the
ground.
the wood floor. Whereas the chamber is where you hear a familiar voice talking. The chamber itself looks like I wouldn't say nondescript. There's very little personality to it. It's almost like like it was dressed for a house visit. Clearly the house of a teenager, young adult. It's got a mattress on the floor, a couple of blankets. It's got this old armoire standing standing against the wall. A little folding table with a laptop open. plugged into power outlet. Which kind of strange that this place has power.
Yeah.
But on the screen, you notice playing is a Twitch stream. And you recognize the streamer. And I would like to know what is going on stream. What is Arthur looking at?
So today's makeup, we're going to be using this lovely new color I got. I mean, can you just believe how nice this color is? It's amazing. And of course, for every donation, we are going to have a spin on the wheel of fun. And then we'll, of course, after that, we always decide what the look for today's going to be based on the wheel of fun. Now, how great is that? So thank you all so much for coming here today to see me. I just love each and every single one of you. Here at Folly's Folly, we have a
I
great time.
told you, don't hurt me. I don't hurt you.
Folly,
Looks like today's Stardew Valley themed. Oh my gosh. Wait, no, Stardew Valley isn't out yet. 2014.
14.
The Sims.
The Sims. Oh, it would totally be The Sims. So we're going for the baby challenge on The Sims today.
as you're, entertaining your audience,
Yes.
your computer begins to glitch. I mean, it's done that before. It's normal, Twitch disconnects.
Agrees. Twitch is twitchy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, everyone. So sorry. My bit rate is down. There seems to be.
You
Well, if it's
can't.
2014, Twitch isn't going to be much of a
Well,
thing either.
It's
can't-
brand new.
Brand new. Okay.
You can't tell me that you are a fan. As I'm talking
Actually,
to the house.
this Foley you see and hear on your screen, you suddenly see Arthur standing in this.
I just pushed the technical difficulties button on my
Mhm.
switchboard. And then I go, why the fuck am I seeing? What was his name? Arthur.
You cannot be a fan. No, this ain't right.
Who's not a fan of mine?
Even though you can see and hear him,
Uh-huh.
he doesn't. To Arthur
Oh.
right now, the stream keeps going.
Okay.
It hit the
Mm.
technical difficulty window screen.
Mm-hmm. There's like a slideshow during the technical difficulties window of like past makeup looks that we've done on stream, sponsored brands and products, a little commercial ad break kind of thing. Yeah. Just like,
Okay, I understand fucking with me a little bit, but this is a very specific level of fuckery I do not approve.
who is he talking to? Oh no, is he losing it? It's bound to happen to everyone eventually.
Your chat just keeps asking
Hot
you what's
terrible.
wrong. What's wrong?
What's wrong?
What's wrong?
Well, I guess everything. We'll just pretend that I'm not seeing Arthur on my stream.
Wait. You took the pretty young thing. I should say, you let go of the pretty young thing. You do not want this pretty young thing. No, I'm telling you right now that you think you had indigestion with the holy water. That is Drano right there. You are not going to like that.
You talking about my stream?
He's definitely not.
He's
In a-
smack talking someone, and I don't
Yes.
see anyone else in the room with him. Could be
Um,
behind the webcam, whatever. But
there's
feeling
actually,
a little targeted.
well, can you make wits and awareness for me, please?
I would love to make a wits awareness check for you. Let's see, awareness.
Difficulty 3.
Wits. Boop. Difficulty 3.
Mind you, you've got heightened senses.
I do have heightened senses. I did not add that in, but yeah.
Well, you
Nah.
can. Do you want to spend will to reroll your 3 dice?
That ticks a will box.
Yeah, that ticks a will box.
Like a full or a half tick?
It's a half
Like
tick.
Half.
Okay, cool. Sure, I'll spend that. I'll take a half.
And I just want to check with heightened senses very quickly. It's free if you want to
Mm-hmm.
use it. You
it
just
doesn't cost anything to activate.
it doesn't cost anything, and you add 2 dice
Good. Okay.
to your
cool.
check.
Yeah, because like I thought he was like tolerable.
You can actually roll 5 dice at the
Ye-
moment.
Yes. Nope. That's help if I click the right buttons. Add +2, so pull size modifier 2.
Huh?
Difficulty.
No, don't.
No,
go
don't put the
for-
modifier because it.
Okay.
Yeah, it
No,
just.
but but
Okay.
don't re-roll the whole set. Just roll 5d10.
Okay.
Yeah, that also works.
Because if you re-roll the whole set, it's going to keep all of the dice that you had, and you
Okay.
can only re-roll the 3.
Yeah,
that
because it's
were,
going to keep the hunger.
Okay.
And yeah.
So
Yeah.
just roll 5 dice.
1, 2, 3 successes.
Hey.
It seems that there is someone with Arthur
Okay.
because the shadows are moving,
Oh, okay.
and
Checks out.
one of them appears to be reaching for Arthur's throat. A sort of clawed hand, and he is oblivious to it.
I will turn off the technical difficulties screen and I'll go, look out behind you.
What?
It's me,
It's just
Polly.
like
I'm back.
Um,
And it's just gonna go back to the live stream and just be like, so it seems kind of glitchy on my end as I'm seeing not my usual setup, but if you could see me, we're just gonna carry on.
Arthur, when Folly says, look out
And I'm
behind
like-
you,
yeah,
Trying eye contact as much as I can.
I just sort of like swing around real quick.
there's a tendril that just retreats further deeper into the dark.
Okay, there's some weird shit going on here.
Yes. Oh, about that. We're going to apply this lip gloss. Isn't that nice? Wow.
This is the hell I'm in.
And it's here that we're going to cut to what's happening outside. Lucky. Well, you weren't so lucky. And whatever it is you saw was enough to provoke the beast inside and tell it to get the fuck out.
Get out.
When you vault across the fence, in back of this place, there's an Italian restaurant. There's a sushi restaurant. It's 11 at night. They should be closed. But
I suppose I should ask, where do I wake up? But
Oh.
I mean,
you'll regain your senses, but I'll just describe some of the flashes that you have. Those 2 restaurants are closed, but not the third one that's across the street. This is a pub, and it still has a lot of people outside on the terrace by the sidewalk, eating, drinking. And they see you come out, freaking out.
I'm
Some
probably
people-
using celerity, potence at least, because you can use physical, and I imagine my beast is like get out, which means I'm sure celerity's up, which means I'm sure that is a breach of the masquerade.
How many points do you have in celerity? What are
One.
the powers that you have?
Rapid reflexes. That allows me to perceive things much, much faster than normal.
Mm-hmm.
Although I do not, that's a passive. I do not defy the laws of nature, though.
No.
let's see. Dominates mental, so I can't use it. Potence. That's going to be if people get in my way.
Yeah,
So
that
it'd be just eviscerating them into small shreds. Very just lethal body. That's just ripping people to pieces with my bare fingers in a very, very messy way.
Yeah.
And with strength that is prowess with strength that is not natural.
So you don't
and
have
then-
soaring leap.
No. I
Okay.
have lethal body, prowess, brutal feed.
So for now, what you'll remember is this. The flashes. You jumped. You saw faces across the street. They freaked out. I'm going to still ask you, Trooper, to make a choice right now. Left or right?
Make it my dice.
Yeah.
Because, beast. Odds left, evens right. Evens right.
Right. You bolt to your right. You run down the street, which thankfully, that little half a block, no one. But you do happen upon Main Street, on St. Catherine. It's full of partygoers. It's full of visitors, tourists going back to their hotels after a long day of walking, shopping, sightseeing. You do not care. You remember the faces, the restaurant across the street. Then you remember just this blur of people. You remember feeling things against you. Left or right?
If there's anyone in my way, I imagine my beast will kill them.
Oh yeah, but you don't necessarily remember those images. Flory will have a
right.
clearer.
Yeah. I believe evens is right, so
Yeah.
right.
Okay. You bolt through a crowd of people. You remember grabbing something hard. You awaken farther away.
Do I have any hunger?
Your hunger doesn't go up, if I remember correctly, with the fear
No.
frenzy.
My question is, do I have 0 hunger?
Oh, no. Your goal is not to feed, it's not a feeding frenzy.
Yep.
Your goal is to get the
Yeah.
fuck out.
Yeah.
And that's what your beast
Mm-hmm.
wants to make sure happens.
Yeah.
And I just want to see something. That's not super fun. A quick second, everyone. Apparently, I
Sure.
have to put my search terms in French.
Well, that's exciting. I was gonna say
There you go. What does that look like?
what?
Need something a little more. Need something a little more. Something that you would recognize as a safe place. Something your beast would recognize as a safe place.
The Haven?
That's way too far.
No,
And also not a safe place.
The green?
Not
Oh,
a safe
he's not
place.
going that way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Ever since Artie was started telling
No, you
Lucky's secrets to Caleb, the green is not a safe place. That would not be a place that his beast would go.
wake up, or at least you regain your senses, Lucky. And Flory will explain what happens that you see as you go along. I think I'll do Flory first. That would be simpler. You had to run to try to catch up after Lucky, and even then, you're faced more often than not with just the wake of his passage.
Can I see him at any point?
I would say let's make Lucky, if you can roll Dex plus Athletic plus Celerity, that would be the difficulty. Because there's a crowd. This is mostly him going through the crowd.
Okay.
The lower he rolls, it means that he barreled through them mostly.
Yeah.
Higher would mean that the beast still has a modicum of grace to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Finesse.
And
Times Square at midday. New York walkers through tourist level of grace.
Yeah.
New York, yeah. Slow walkers. All right, so I'm gonna have, and I also get a bonus because of my resonance. So that will be Dex plus Athletics.
Dex, Athletics, Celerity.
Athletics. Dex. I get my celerity of 1 plus my resonance of another 1. Messy critical. I murder a whole bunch of people. That's 7 out of 2.
Yeah.
What do I need to see him?
Well, he got a messy critical. You need a difficulty of 0.
Cool. Cool.
He once. Go ahead.
The minute I can see him, I do 2 things simultaneously. I pop awe and I fire a shot in his shoulder.
Through the people?
No, if you're a messy critical, he said it's shoving, and I have a difficulty of 0 to see you now.
Yeah.
It means that you're that.
Yeah. So what you see is him. So you catch up with him after he's turned onto Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky is holding in his hands a broken parking meter that he uses as a hockey stick to cross-check people. He doesn't whack them in the head, because you don't do that in hockey anyway. But he whacks them in the legs. He cross-checks them in the back to push them away. Some people just hit their faces on pavement, walls of buildings. There's a line. Like, there is a line to him. What is your awe for?
Awe? 2 things. 1, because he is frenzying, it'll draw his attention on me. He can't resist it.
I can. I get bonuses. When you're in frenzy, you get bonuses against to resist mental disciplines.
Yeah. Oh.
But also, he's not.
Yeah, like plus 3 dice.
Until you shoot him, I'll say until you shoot him, he's not aware that you're there yet.
That's fair. I also need everyone else in this space on me.
Oh, that, yeah. If you activate it now, the regular people will.
Uh-huh. I was like, mother, and she's going to shout loudly and in French.
Mhm.
Somebody slipped him bath salts. Deck, hit the deck. It's 2014. Bath salts are all the rage, and Florida horribleness is making international news.
I thought that bath salts were actually bath salts you would buy at Bath and Body, and I was like, why are people?
No.
Why are people going to Bath and Body and taking like the jasmine bath salts? That's what I thought they were doing, because I'm very hip.
No, they're taking, and you could get them at the Quick Trip.
You shout that he's on bath salts.
And and that's why I have awe up, so that everyone around.
Can you give me charisma and subterfuge?
And I get to add my presence to that for
Yes.
awe, correct? So
Well, it's normally persuasion or performance, but in this case, it's a lie, but you have like 5 words, so I would count it as 'cause
no,
it's-
I'm just
anyway.
doing math.
The bonus is added to it, is what I meant.
Nope, because the charisma subterfuge plus presence.
Yeah,
Right?
that's what I want.
Okay.
Plus your 1 die. Oh no, because it's not an activated. Never mind that.
It's still a power. 3, 2.
Well, it's because it's not a discipline power bonus, because you're not the discipline just adds to your dice. You're still just rolling a regular skill check. Oof.
Only out of that. You know what? I'm going to spend the willpower on this.
I was gonna say with 6 dice.
Yeah, I would spend that willpower on re-rolling 5 of them. Yeah,
It's up to 3, right?
up to 3. Yeah.
No, wait. Up to 3 is in chapters.
It's up to. I thought I could re-roll
keep-
up to.
Is
Is
it?
three?
No, I think
No,
it's
as
according
many-
to a
it's-
stat in this game.
It's according to the stats, and I believe it's up to the.
No, reroll up to 3 regular dice. Up to 3.
Okay,
it's
so-
it's what you heal that is different. You
Okay.
heal more willpower than according to your
All
stat.
right.
You heal
My
willpower
bad.
based on your resolve or two different stats. Which one?
Okay, so 4 successes.
It's
4
resolve
successes
composure,
total.
Which is higher.
Yeah, resolve composure.
I'm keeping it in mind for the humans. I'll deal with the humans later, but
Yeah.
I got that 4 successes. What about that shot?
Cool. This was even more fun because that's dex and firearms, correct?
Yes. Oh wow.
And I
we've-
always get 2 extra dice. Four successes. And because I don't fail, it doesn't matter.
All right.
That's correct.
I'm not shooting for his head.
No,
I do
no.
like-
Well, maybe. I don't know. In this
Also,
case,
just side note:
yes.
in a frenzy, I take no penalties for any kind of harm, physical harm.
Yeah, you won't lose your points because you're wounded.
I'm in a frenzy. Yeah, no,
No, the point isn't to harm you. Well, the point is to harm you. The point is to I'm not getting close enough to hit you over the head with a big stick. I'm going to do this from a distance and shoot you to get your attention, and then have you chase.
Range
But
weapons,
it's fear frenzy.
firearms.
Unless you're stopping me from fleeing, I don't think so, because I'm trying to run away.
Yes,
Yeah,
but that also means that you're not going to try to dodge the bullet as it whizzes into you.
Also-
Not the first one.
Also, I think she's hitting me from the back, right?
Yep.
Because I'm running.
Yeah, at a distance. What's the... do you have your weapon damage on there? Because it's 4 successes, but then you add your weapon damage rating.
Raiders.
It's just a pistol, so
Pistol,
it's,
I have it like
I
9mm. So medium gunshot, it is a +3. So add 3 to that.
7.
7 successes.
Okay.
So, but because it is
Take
a
that.
firearm, it is not 7
It's always
because it's
Aggravated.
halved.
yeah, it's half.
So that would be 3 bashing,
Okay. I'll take that.
and I just need to check if there's example of roll superficial health damage. Yes. Damage. Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. You took 3 superficial in the end, and that is it for this bullet. You fire at at Lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Hit him square in the back. Lucky, it stings.
I'm not even present. I'm going.
But
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not present.
you recall the
Lucky's-
stinginess.
Yeah.
He keeps going. Unimpeded.
Have I gotten people out of his way?
Oh, people are... I mean, you shot a gun.
Yeah.
In the middle of Main
People
Street.
have stopped, and in the distance, sirens.
Cool. I can deal with sirens. Sirens I can deal with. There's #chemistry for that. There are lots of ways I can deal with sirens. But have I gotten people out of his way, out of his path?
Out of his path a bit, but he keeps going. Eventually he'll reach another group of people that aren't aware yet of what's going on, who stopped because they heard some strange sound.
Okay. She's gonna speed up, still have awe up, to kind of be like, somebody slipped in bath salts. Get out of his way, you fuck. He's a goddamn never trust an idiot with a drink. Roofies are a horrible way of going. And she's just shouting this down as she
PSA.
goes, as she keeps saying,
It's a...
Check your drinks.
check your drinks. Never take a drink from someone else that you didn't see made.
Okay, so it's 1,600
Leave it
feet.
alone.
So I think
Whatever.
you won't have time for another shot. But eventually Lucky
not-
turns and leaves Main Street.
Cool,
Basically, when
okay.
you shot him, he
Mhm.
was halfway through, and then just veers off mainstream. When you come to, Lucky, you are surrounded, and I mean, Flory, you'll be like moments behind, right?
Mhm.
You are surrounded by a wrought iron gate. You're lying down on the grass, and in front of you, clear in plain view of your prone self, a steeple. Cross on top of it. There are rows of trees around. There are stone columns marking regular interval in that wrought iron fence. The building itself is not a church. You'll recognize as you slowly come to. You can see the like sign on the grass nearby. Your vision is still a bit blurry. You're not quite sure what you were running from. But this used to be an orphanage. It's now part of the Concordia campus. But it used to be a place of sanctuary. Those who have lost their parents. It used to be called, well, it is called nowadays the Grey Nuns Building. In your hands, a bloody, bent parking meter. Your clothes have specks of blood. You're not drenched. Though while you were running, the beast did not care about withholding the blood inside your body. You feel a wetness stemming from a hole in your back. You hear sirens, cop cars approaching, but from where you are, you don't really have sight on any of the side streets aside from the one. You can only see that one street that you realize had to jump over the wrought iron fence to get onto this lot. Go ahead.
um, hide, get to where if I'm being looked for by the authorities, I don't want them to find me. Uh, so uh, find a place to not be seen. You know what I mean?
So the building is
Like a-
kind of made like this, like a inverted U with square angles. So not a curve, but like a yeah. If you get close to one of the corners, there's almost no light here. There's the rows of trees. There's the fence. If you curl up into a ball and you stay there, you can barely see the street. You doubt anyone on the street can see you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna chuck that parking meter somewhere not away, and then go and
Can you still roll Dex and Stealth for me, please?
sure. Let's see. It's not particularly stealthy. 3 out of 2.
Okay.
3.
Flory.
Mm.
Flory, as you arrive, you saw him jump the gate. Jump the fence. But now that you look around, you would need a check to see if you see him. Wits and awareness.
Flory doesn't look for him that way. Flory has sense beast.
Hmm.
She doesn't know that he's regained his senses at this point.
No.
And so sensing the beast is a lot easier if I'm looking for
Yeah.
somebody who's hiding.
Indeed. Sense the beast.
It's just a passive.
Oddly enough, there's no more fear around.
Okay. But that doesn't... I can still try and find anybody with a beast, a supernatural creature.
Yes, if you sense, like if you see the person, you can sense if they have a beast or not.
Okay.
But it doesn't let you, now that he's not
It's not auspice,
panicking
right?
anymore, it doesn't let you like ping where they are. Unless he wanted to do you harm, then you would know instantly.
Great.
Could I ask you a question, dear GM?
Hmm?
So let's see. Worry about collateral damage. I think that's 2 stains because that's a major breach of that tenant rather than 1. So I feel like that's 2. Respect the community that is here. I'm going to get some stains for that one.
Yes, because you did not
I
respect
don't know if
it.
I don't know if I've drawn the attention of the clergy.
No.
But so that's. Would
I
you
mean-
say that respect the community?
No, go ahead.
Would you say that respect the community that is here is 1 or 2 stains, 1 for minor or 2 for major? I mean,
No, in this case, I would say it's still minor for 2 reasons. You sort of went on a rampage. That is bad.
oh yeah,
Most of
That's
the people
super bad,
that you
right?
encountered aren't local. And also you did not like pummel like 50 people. It's going to be newsworthy. That's for sure. It is going to be newsworthy. But as far as a stain is, if I compare to like the community at large and the damage that you've done, it's not enough to count as being major. Like in a week
gonna
or
hit-
so, people will have forgotten about it.
if it's going to hit the news, I imagine it might draw the attention of the clergy. So I feel like I might get a minor one for that.
I mean,
It depends how
It-
good Flory lies.
yeah, but the thing is also it's just because a priest watches TV doesn't mean it attracts the attention of the clergy. Like, there's a way to attract the attention of the clergy, and in this case, I would say don't roll it. Like, I might do rolls in secret because otherwise it automatically reveals certain things.
Yeah.
So just go
Just-
with it's a major for collateral and a minor for community.
And then how many stains do I take for my messy critical?
Does the
Or-
messy crit?
So with a messy crit, I should either get stains, have a masquerade breach, or lose a dot of an advantage.
$207. That's what I'm.
Like stains because I harmed a whole bunch of people, or I could maybe lose. What are my?
Well, the thing is it's either the stains.
advantages?
Okay, I know what's gonna happen. It's going to be either the stains or the masquerade breach, and it'll depend on Flory. Because technically, it would be a masquerade breach.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But let's see if Flory manages to, or things, put things all right, fix the breach as it were. It still counts as stains for you
Extra stains.
because you. I would say there would be 4 stains total. If it's not a breach. Because your actions were horrible. Basically, imagine if it's not a breach, it's the stain and the remorse roll that's gonna have to go with it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no remorse roll, but there's the breach,
Oh,
and that's going
I'll
to
have
be
to
way
make a
worse.
remorse roll anyway because I'm already at 3 stains.
Oh, okay.
I still want it to be 3 or 4.
So Flory,
It's like bonus stains.
Cool. But she knows that he went over the fence, right?
oh yeah, you definitely saw him go over the fence. It's this building. Thankfully, it's no longer an orphanage.
Yeah.
It's just one of the many buildings on campus for Concordia, so it's closed tonight. Like there's a couple lights on, probably, security, whatever. The way the building is made, right? So this
Yeah.
like inverted U, and then there's the wrought iron fence that makes turns everything into a square, which means that unless he goes into the building and then exits through like a back door or jumps out a window, he's somewhere in that square.
Cool. But the cops are not here yet, right?
You hear the sirens. You know how far, because you were running while they were coming this way. You figure
Yeah.
you have a few minutes.
Cool. Minutes. She's going to whistle out and yell out in the cant. Stay hidden. I'll deal with this. I'm calling you and don't move. And she is going to go back out to the main street. And what she's going to do is, as she's leaving to go to the main street, she's going to ditch the gun in a side corner, in a shadow, underneath a garbage can, near the the wrought iron fence. Go back out to the main street, activate the tear ducts, and
Were you already on Blush of Life?
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, not she's not she just wants to look verklempt and choked up and emotional, not actively crying.
Okay.
She's not looking like activate tear ducts, but just look like she's upset. And run up to the nearest cop car.
There's eye drops for that.
Yeah, there's eye drops for that. They weren't in her bag because she was planning a murder tonight and possibly a kidnapping.
I always plan on crying. It's very
No,
dramatic.
she doesn't always plan. Usually plans to get in and out without having to fix these problems. But every time apparently a Bruja gets involved, there's extra performative work that she has to do. She might start charging. She goes out to the main street and look. She has awe. She toned down awe when they were out around the corner, away from the main body of people. but she's going to bring Awe back up as she goes away from the building, so that it draws the attention of bystanders, and the cops towards her away from the building. And the first cop.
No, that was a message for Trooper.
Okay. Whatever first cop shows up, she's going to fully turn to him and with awe up start going, "Did you see him? Oh my God, it was so. Did you see where he went? He went that way, and I don't. Have you called the ambulance yet? I don't have any Niacaine. Do you have Niacaine on you? I really don't understand how this happened. But like, is it normal in this city for people to start slipping bath salts into people's drinks?"
He's going to try as best as possible to calm you down.
Cool.
But can you make that
manipulation subterfuge?
Yeah, manipulation subterfuge.
It's like do I get the bonus for awe?
Yes. Yeah, we'll say yes.
Also, none of my convictions will help mitigate these stains.
8 successes with a crit.
Nice. So nice.
And with the 4 that you had earlier, basically, to paraphrase what's going to happen, the ambulances hadn't been called yet, at least not for that person.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll handle this. They asked you if, you saw him and blah, blah, blah. Because you said, he went that way and whatever. And you seem to have known a bit about what was going on.
She will lie out her ass, and
so they will.
She's going to give a description that matches but is inaccurate.
Oh yeah. He is, however, going to bring you, because you look like you're someone that's panicking. So there's the blanket that comes out. He'll bring you to the patrol car. The door opens. You can just sit in and calm down. As the ambulance arrive, they're gonna check on you. Thankfully, you've got the blush of life, so they're the vital seems to be okay. She's panicking, but it seems to be resolved because her heartbeat is
normal,
kind of very regular.
I have
oddly regular.
I'm sorry. It's like I have an arrhythmia. It's very weird. I apologize. But no, we were at this bar, and I was, talking with my girlfriend, and all of a sudden, I watched this gentleman order a drink, and he was smiling and laughing with his friends. They would apparently come from a hockey game, and it was at one of the colleges, I believe. And she will describe one of the college hockey jerseys that is not the jersey that Lucky wears, but is in similar colors, so that, any other eyewitnesses who maybe make that same kind of statement, there would be enough confusion over whether, but hers would be the predominant because she saw him before the rampage. And then we were in the bar, and I was talking with my girlfriend particularly about, and I watched him come in very jovial. They were celebrating, I guess, the win from the whatever, and he then ordered a round of shots. I guess it was an Irish car bomb. It's a thing that the people do still. I guess it was very. We were having prosecco, and it was very, very good prosecco, by the way. And she was.
They tried to bring you back to.
Yeah, but she also knows that one of the best ways to do this about lying is to make sure that you add in enough facts that are tangential and around the story, so that it seems that she's not making something up. She's just struggling to focus and recall, and instead can recall other particular factors. And so she will then describe this individual that they were drinking, that she then watched somebody pour something into the shots, and he didn't notice, and she tried to stop him and reached out to stop him, and he shoved her, and that's where she got this bruise on her arm, and she's going to point at the bruise that she get from running into something, or right bruise on her arm. And then he went tearing off down the street, and I was like, oh my lord, he's on bath salts. Haven't you heard about this so horrible thing? There was the person who did bath
And they
salts
ask
then
you-
tried to
they ask you,
wrestle
you
a
know-
gator. It was like, and she'll go on and on.
They take your entire deposition. It takes a while.
Yeah, 'cause
Um,
she's not. She's
But this will not result in a masquerade breach. Or at least, it's kind of strange because, as viewers, well, longtime viewers might know, newer viewers might not, Montreal is in a bit of a Wild West type of setting right now. There's a Camarilla. They just got here as in last night.
I don't acknowledge their existence. Fuck them.
So, masquerade breaches aren't so grave when it comes to Kindred Society. It's the rest of the consequences, other fallout from a breach, that might be dangerous. Because you're
Wait,
not going to
I have a
have...
question.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I just had a thought. We were talking about like a place where people do really weird things, like running around super strange ways. Are there just a lot of vampires in Florida? Is that what's going on here? Like the whole like Florida man might just be a vampire? Is this what I'm hearing?
You're still muted.
You're
Or-
still muted. Yeah.
Florida's got changelings. It's a different problem. Entirely different.
Imagine they just have we have all the problems here in Florida.
There's in Arcadia, Florida.
Changelings. The Florida
but-
skunk ape. It's the slew.
Speaking of Changeling, I don't know why I'm saying that. We're going to go back to our other duo after the break.
Oh,
Stick around, everyone. We'll be right back. Grab yourself a drink. Lucky will do the remorse roll at the end.
Yeah. It's
Because it's at the end of the session
Two
anyway.
extra stains. Yeah.
Yes, because
those
it's
two
not a
extra
breach, so it's a total of 5 stains that you took.
Mm-hmm.
this stream is sponsored by Not This Beverage. Found familiar coffee.
It is. Grab yourself some actual good coffee, and we'll be right back. Hey! As you can see, your players on the overlay right now, there is a remorse roll. That is the only one that was rolled, see, during break. We did it now instead of at the end because there needs to be some result for Lucky. So you see it here now. In I don't know. Something wow words. I'm gonna take another drink of coffee. Anyway, it's been done. Let's go back to our other duo for a second. Ollie and Arthur.
God, bad feeling.
And now that we've hit the 37th baby and the 100 baby challenge on The Sims 4, we're going to go hit our 10-minute break. I will see all of you wonderful viewers. Then please stand up, stretch, get a beverage. Today's beverage is sponsored, blah, 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 blah. She goes on and then hits the roll, swings the mic away, double checks the mute.
Arthur, your phone rings.
It's falling. What the? Oh, okay, what the hell's going on?
Excuse me, did you hack my computer, my stream?
No. I.
That was that about Drano?
Okay, I'm in a house possessed by the Abyss itself.
Okay.
And a laptop is on that has
home.
your stream on it.
Oh, are they a fan?
The Abyss may very well be.
Oh, it's so sweet.
No, it's not. It's really not.
Look, I view it as a demographic reach that, I appeal to all sorts of walks of life, and that is a good thing for the statistics. But I see you on my computer inside a house, and something was reaching for you. I'm really glad you did look behind you when I said, look out behind you.
Yeah, I do not.
That's not my typical comeback from stream, and I'm really hoping it doesn't,
I don't know entirely what's going on here, but I feel like I'm in a Doctor Who episode, and I'm not a fan.
Oh, you don't like Doctor Who?
Not the episode that we're dealing with. Because right now you're Doctor Who, and I'm the person stuck in the creepy house with the monsters.
I'm the doctor. I think a good doctor. But yes, no, why are you in a house with creepy monsters? And why are you on my feed?
Well,
I would really like to see my OBS.
I wish I could do something about that, but until your abyssal fan has been quieted, your OBS is out of luck.
Oh. Well, what are you going to do about it?
Well, I'm going to, surprisingly enough, since you can see, take the laptop with me as we go through the creepy house.
Nice cut.
Wait, I have a technical question. Lori sees Artie?
Uh-huh.
But Artie only sees like the regular stream.
No.
Yeah.
Artie, she sees Artie's face?
Yeah, he took off the...
I took off Rick's face.
I must have missed that. Okay, that makes more sense now. I was very confused because that would have been even more Malk than normal, but this is even better.
All right, so why are you in the creepy house?
Because one Lasombra asked for a favor for another Lasombra.
But you're not Lasombra.
No, but I'm in a very precarious situation. You know that Camarilla shindig that was supposed to be...
That really... It was really boring, wasn't it? I bet it was so boring.
It was unfortunately not boring. Apparently either my sire is either wearing the flesh of the new prince or is possessing the new prince.
Interesting and gross.
Yes. So that's an issue, considering that she is a very murderous Zamish member of the Sabbat last I checked.
Yeah.
So that's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did the favor for Losambra so Losambra would get the word out about my sire.
Okay. That sounds really complicated.
That's most of my nights.
Oh.
The house creaks. Through the
Okay,
phone,
that's my cue to move.
through the phone folly, it sounds more like a moan of like
Someone having sex
pain.
in there?
No, a pain.
Oh, okay.
Very important to put the last word
Yeah,
in my
yeah,
sentence.
Thank you. Someone sounds like they're in pain. It might be the house.
The house is definitely displeased. I don't know. It seems to be pleased with you, but displeased with me.
Well, everyone's pleased with me. Unless you're Tremere, because they're all just jealous. But anyways, go on.
All right. Well, we're going to move through this house and try and find the source of its trouble, which I'm
All right,
guessing
well,
is
we
going to be in the
have-
basement.
9 minutes and 27 seconds left on break. So
All right. I'm moving quicker. I got it.
You grab the laptop.
Yeah. I grabbed the laptop. I have like the phone's in one ear. The laptop's being held like an oversized passport as I'm walking down the stairs.
Now I can run a 3-minute ad break afterwards if we really need to, but I just ran an ad break after the whole technical difficulty things because you popped up on my screen. But as long as this doesn't become a trend, it's fine.
If this becomes a trend, we have greater problems.
Mm-hmm. I guess.
Out of the bedroom, there's this landing on top of the stairs. There's that room you haven't checked, the one with the blood that sort of fuses the door with the floor.
Yeah.
And then otherwise, you could U-turn, take the passage, go down deeper into the house.
Yeah, we're going to ignore Pastyville and go towards the basement because this is a horror movie. I'm in it, and the end of the movie is at the bottom of the basement. We know this.
You make your way down the stairs, hopping over the hole that you saw earlier. And come to the first floor. You'll have to make your way back out into the dining room, into the kitchen, sorry, where the stairs lead down to the basement.
This house wasn't so violently haunted. It'd make a great set piece. Why are you by yourself here, by the way?
Due to the fact that one of my friends gazed upon its indiscernible horrors, had the reasonable response, but they have a beast, so there is an unreasonable response going off, and the art person that's supposed to be with me is chasing after them.
Sometimes you stare into the void and the void stares back.
Yeah, it's just this void is far more active.
God, I need some vodka. She's gonna also get up from her laptop.
Why do you need vodka?
From what you can see through the cam, Folly, it looks like those paintings are moving.
Are the paintings moving for you? Because they're moving for me.
No, they're not moving for me.
They're definitely moving for me.
Oh, great.
On that apocalyptic landscape, colors of red, like a reddish sky with an ashen, barren, hilly landscape, there is a person, just a silhouette. We only see the silhouette from the back, though. Mostly obscured, but it looks like a person wearing a hat.
Do you see the hatted individual?
Do I see the hatted individual?
Yeah, that description was for both of you. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Great.
Okay.
So I'm
Yep.
seeing myself in a future painting.
What
Got
kind of silhouette is the hat? Like, is it a fedora, a top hat?
It's
Like,
a
what-
fedora.
It's a fedora. Okay.
it. I don't like seeing myself in that. That is.
Is it
unpleasant.
white?
No,
Is the
the silhouette is entirely black, as if it was just like a
Okay, yeah.
shadow.
Hold on 1 second. Daniel, could you drink some vodka? Yeah, no, that'd be great. Cool, thank you.
Oh, that's. Oh, I didn't even know that. Oh,
On the other paintings, right now there are depictions of an outdoor slaughterhouse where various carcasses of humans are just hung up, strung, some of them dismembered, some of them still intact, some disemboweled, some not. It looks like they're on an automated rack and just moving
Oh.
through a sort of facility.
It's like a human sushi conveyor belt.
Yeah. This is definitely not in the style that Monet used to paint.
yeah.
You find the door to the basement. It's narrower than the others, smaller than the others. This is clearly a door that hasn't been renovated up to modern standards. It's one of those, it's like 5 feet high, basically.
Oh, look at that. Classy door. Finally.
When you open it, it makes no sound. No creaking, no squeaking. Not even the sound of the mechanism. You turn the handle. There's no click. And all you see going down the pit, at the bottom
If
of which...
you die here, I'll tell your friends what happened.
You were expecting the end of this to be death? Oh, sweet thing. This is the worst of the death place.
I was just saying.
I appreciate the sentiment.
At the bottom of the pit, you can see it with the soft glare of the laptop, because you're starting to need limbs to hold the mag light. And I know you could. I know you could. I know you could. The staircase. It was just these old, like, wooden stairs, very shoddily built. It crashed. Probably molded and beyond recognition. Termites, perhaps, at some point. Looking down, you figure it's at best maybe like an 8-foot drop.
Oh, it's only 8 feet. Okay. I would like to activate Weight of a Feather.
What does that do?
Nice. That's a good one.
Protean. It's with survival. It's free. It allows me to pretty much, fall damage. That's not a thing.
Then,
You weigh so
no
little.
roll is required. Yep. You can
You'd be
just
walking on snow like. Boop, boop, boop,
Yeah,
boop.
no, I'm going Legolas.
The
This.
Legolas feat.
I
Yeah.
had it specifically in case someone tried to throw me off Hunter's Green.
no, yep. As you gently glide down like a feather, you notice that the stairs were in such a state of disarray, I guess, of brokenness. Many of them had broken, and their jagged edges were pointing upward.
Of course.
Made for a nice bed for someone who wants to just go into torpor for a while.
All right. I saw the keep out sign, but we're down here to try and fix things. Folly, if you hear me talking to someone that is not you, it's the house.
Ooh, hi, house.
The house creaks.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
they're
at
a
my
fan.
back.
Ugh.
The ground, by the way, in the basement is just, it's compacted earth. There's no floor. And at this level, you can see that, like, modern concrete has been poured. but not all the way down. There's like a layer of maybe like a brick or two high of the old foundations. They made sure to sort of make the building sort of standard, solid over time, but clearly the person responsible for those renovations skimmed on wherever they could. Which means that you're stepping on bare dirt. And with each of your steps, your foot sinks just...
Still using weight of a feather, so I don't really sink.
It's not so much that you sink, but that the earth is trying to grab at you. But
Yeah,
not
well,
it's
worse
not
if you
trying
didn't
to
have way of a
pull
feather.
you. It's not trying to pull you. It's just trying to like a lover waving goodbye as the train departs the station, trying to grab your hand for one last little squeeze.
We're not that intimate.
Just want to give you a hug.
I'm
We
just
are-
He wants to
saying,
give you a hug.
We are not that.
the earth is trying to be intimate with your feet.
Yeah, no. I require at least, a couple of meals and a dance.
Subscribe to
So-
your OnlyFans. That's not a thing yet.
Aside from the room you're in, which used to be probably just like cold storage, there are two rooms. One that is set, the entrance is at the wall in front of you. I mean, you have to sort of U-turn after the staircase
Yeah.
there. So this one would lead to under the house proper. And there's another one that would lead to under the Florida room. But the one that leads under the Florida room is boarded up with debris. Bricks, furniture, bits of broken concrete. There's even a piece of pavement. You recognize it. You see the blackened asphalt with like a streak of yellow paint.
So this here, that house on Haunted Hill comes to mind. That's where the evil is. We're gonna check out the room that may not have the evil contained, but may have the thing that tried to keep the evil contained.
If you really want, I could attempt to get a glimpse of what lies beyond the door.
Folly, I appreciate that, but the last person that got a glimpse of something beyond went into a fear frenzy, and I don't think you want to do that with a stream.
We're still on break, but yeah, I guess not.
There's about 5 minutes left to your break.
We're going to quickly turn and head away from the evil and see if there is someone in this darkness.
Boiler
That's
room.
not just the house.
Mm-hmm.
You enter the boiler room.
Peering at the monitor.
Okay,
closely.
so Jason's behind all the debris. Freddy's in here. Got it.
There's the old boiler disassembled. Just put neatly into pieces, the way a serial killer would with the organs of their victim. It's neatly placed. It's unsettling what's been done, and it occupies pretty much the entire floor. Boiler itself being a sizable apparatus.
Yes, but it is the symbol of light, hearth in this house.
And amid all of this, what was inside the boiler at some point was also neatly piled up. Bones.
Oh.
Bleached white. A little pile. Skull that sits atop it.
Oh.
Now, who are you?
The skull bears fangs.
Oh.
Damien, Is that you? Or you somebody else?
There is no movement. Sound, no creaking.
Sorry, I can only see into the future. I can't check into the past.
Legit. No, the past is more my domain.
That's good to know.
Can the two of you make a resolve and awareness roll for me?
Oh,
I would
okay.
love to. Yes. Would my auspex play into this? My heightened senses?
Yes.
Heightened senses?
Heightened senses
Wonderful.
works on that if you have it, yeah.
I do.
Difficulty 4.
I'm going to rouse the blood in that case. So that'll give me what, +1, +2?
Oh, I didn't.
Blood potency. What's your blood potency? It's 1. It's
1? Okay.
whatever your blood potency is at this point, it's 1 anyway.
All right.
Okay.
I haven't been naughty yet. That's true.
Resolve.
And difficulty 4, you said?
Blood surge is 2 die.
2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Power
Do I
bonus
just
is
roll an
1,
extra-
Blood surge is 2.
Die for my auspex afterwards?
No, your blood potency. Your blood potency is 2, correct?
Yeah.
The blood surge
So
should
blood
be at
surge is
1
2.
die. That's what I have on the
Let me
chart
change
here.
it, remember? You said it was they did the
Oh yes,
They rejiggered
yes.
it.
We yeah. Oh, it's because I have the old table in front of me. Yes, it's 2 dice.
Okay. I'll do the rouse check for rousing the blood while I'm here.
And then
All right, I'm hungry.
Hungry.
I got
4,
4
5.
successes. 5 successes.
Resolve.
Yeah, it's 6 and over.
Oh, yeah, 5 successes then. 5 out of 4.
2. Then difficulty 4, you said.
Yes.
5.
As a messy crit, though.
It is.
And there's no way of getting rid of that.
Nope.
No.
There is.
There
You
is?
can willpower to re-roll 3 of your normal dice, including that 10,
You could remove
And
that
if you-
10 from there, yeah.
Yeah, I'll
which would make it not
I'll
a crit.
spend the willpower.
That's true. It's rare that you would like avoid, like re-roll to
Avoid,
fail,
yeah.
but yes.
Yeah, no. I do not. This is not the place to get a messy crit.
How many dice do you want to re-roll?
Look, I already had to fix one problem today. I don't need
Yeah,
to fix all these
I know.
problems on top
At least
of
I
it.
could give you a heads up.
Oh, well, that would be
like-
useful. I would appreciate it.
I will.
It's like
roll
he's gone
3.
nuts in the haunted house. I don't know if that means anything to you, but it's quite a tragedy out there. Really.
I'm sending my alcohol bill to everybody involved.
Just don't roll a 10. Good.
There you
Then
go.
that is 3, 4,
4.
5 successes.
1, 2,
1, 2,
3, 4.
3, 4. Oh, yeah, no, sorry, because I counted the other one. Regardless, you both succeed.
Hey.
Amidst all of the pieces of the boiler, there is one that glints. It's the faintest of glint in the glow of the laptop light.
Shiny.
It could be misconstrued as perhaps like some round gear or something. No. It's a circular silver medallion.
Oh, it's silver. Gross.
Right. What does the I'm going to take the glow of folly onto this medallion to get a better look.
The medallion itself. Wow, word. I'm not looking for barren. I'm looking for smooth.
Mm.
It's this size of a large coin, perhaps like this.
Huh?
Right, so as a medallion, it's like
Yeah.
It's got a ridge. It's been what you do with coins, like the outer rim has been
Yeah, yeah.
ridged,
Yeah.
is what I'm looking for. Wow. Both faces of the medallion are smooth.
Yeah.
It looks very, very mundane. Maybe a little too mundane. Like it tries too hard to appear like a generic medallion. The chain itself is not silver. The chain did not glint under the light. The medallion.
So I point before picking it up. Is this your problem? I am asking the house.
No sound.
Problem seems to be in the other room, but you might want to pick that up if you're not allergic. Could be very helpful. Or troublesome, we don't know.
I have a number of allergies. Silver isn't one of them. So
Oh. Lucky you.
I'll take this medallion.
You pocket it. It feels a bit heavier than a silver medallion has any right to be. It feels heavy not because of the material, but because of a tangible emotional weight to it. Like the magical resonance in it. Like even your being as a supernatural creature can't help but feel that the medallion is heavy. As it should. I don't know if that makes sense.
We'll deal with whoever attuned this thing to this particular channel later. Yeah, we're going to have to take that skull one way or another, so you're coming with me. And let's see here.
As
So,
you do so,
yeah.
you
Mhm.
hear a low rumble, and then the clatter of a lot of rubble coming.
Okay.
As whatever was blocking the way to the other room partly cleared itself.
Okay, who's over there? Is that you, House, or is that Mr. Black? Who are you? I put the skull down.
There's a human mid the rubble, dressed with just a bath towel around their waist, like they're coming out of the shower. In fact, their skin is still a little damp from what you can see.
Mhm.
They are unconscious, bleeding from the left temple.
Oh.
They seem to have come out of that room. Part of it, let's say if I divided the door frame into quadrant,
Yeah.
the upper right side of the quadrant came loose. And just like a wave, this person sort of rode it down with all the rubble.
Oh,
they got yeeted into the room. Got it.
it makes me want snacks.
Beyond that rubble, shine the light.
Yeah.
The light does not shine. It's Venta Black.
Okay. I need to know, is this your snack? Is this an offering? What do you want with this individual? Is this a vessel? What?
Foley,
Yes.
your chat begins to type in all caps.
Oh, okay.
Paint form.
Paint for me.
Work form.
Paint for me. Work for me.
work for myself.
I'm
Not-
sorry, I was just reading my chat.
No,
It's
no.
kind of exploding in all caps.
Uh,
Do you
that-
think it's House?
I think it's House.
Mr.
Um,
House. Or Mrs. House.
Oh, well, I do. I work for myself, and I'm not a very good painter.
I could
Oh.
give you creative direction.
Well, Folly, you know that this house could easily be yours.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Isn't there like some old person or
Oh,
Is
the
it
person that
fucking, like-
possessed this is metaphysically inconvenienced for a indeterminate amount of time.
right?
The chat says, feed me.
Oh, now it says feed me.
Oh, okay. That's why you want the. So this is a sacrifice. You could have just said so. Like,
No, mods, don't ban them.
Produce. Paint.
Produce paint. I mean,
Work.
it could use a makeover.
let me
Work,
look this
Live.
person.
Die.
live,
Forever.
die. Did that. Oh, forever. It's a long time.
Okay, I am not one of yours. I am not a member of the I Love the Abyss Club.
The injured Kine begins to stir awake.
Shh, no, sweetie. As I I put things down and I immediately put her into a pressure hold
Mm,
around the
knock
neck.
back out.
Yep.
Hmm.
One,
Good,
two,
easy grip.
three.
Begins to panic a
and-
bit and
Mhm.
There we go. Just stay unconscious for me. We'll figure out what we're doing with you in a moment. No. I understand you've been here for a while. Okay? You had your employee who got coughed up. I got it. All right. But this work, you don't pay enough for me to do. So
His rates are very high.
yes. Now, I can get you someone to come and do the work. That can be arranged.
Do they want a remodel?
Oh, you don't want to. This is one of the few Victorian houses on the entire island. You want to just like
Oh,
restore it.
restoration.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, Lindy doesn't know about that place out of game. Let me send you the
am I about to fall in love with another piece of architecture? Because I walk around constantly going, oh, look at the
And
8-inch
also
baseboards. Look
Here.
how molding though. Ooh.
I sent you the Legend Keeper link. You just have to search
Okay.
what I typed in.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Um,
no.
So
No,
here-
you want to restore this.
as you ask questions to the house, you hear the lapping sound of water coming from beyond the rubbled.
Oh,
Um,
You can smell salt water.
all right. So the previous owner, in their infinite wisdom, delved too deep and drew you up here. Got it.
oh, looks like that house was built around the same time I was born. Oh,
Um,
beautiful.
Now, well, Folly,
Yes.
I think we have an opportunity to make many individuals happy.
I
1
love
minute.
opportunities.
1 minute and a half on the timer.
Okay, I'll have to run an ad break. Quickly. Come on,
All right,
pitch.
real quick.
Pitch it to me.
You're already in like the Montreal area. You turn
Yes.
this into your new local abode.
Mhm.
You can have another ghoul. I know you're fond of them.
I
That
don't have any ghouls, actually. Just
Well,
you know.
I will
heard.
introduce you to the ways, means, and teachings of how to properly ghoul and maintain a ghoul servitor or servitors plural. They
Mhm.
have their uses.
It seemed like a lot of work.
They're actually surprisingly not. Sort of like a hermit crab if you treat it right.
Oh, I do
And-
love crabs.
And then, no, this is your new abode. You have your ghouls here.
Mhm.
They maintain the property and also the abyss. And from what it looks like, the abyss just spits people out here
Uh-huh.
to be fed upon and be used for paint. So you can have your creative endeavors think of this as almost like a patron that's tied to the house.
It's been a while since I've had a creative patron. House, can you hear me? Put me on speakerphone.
I'm just like, I'm holding her to the sounds of lapping water.
The chat says, "Come to me, Folly."
Is this another stalker? Slide into my DMs. I have
Chat says
opened
what?
them.
No, it just keeps repeating.
Hey, do I have to like come down there?
Paint.
I might have to come down there.
Live, die, produce.
Wasn't Live, Die, Repeat a show, that movie that came out not too
Well, it has a very limited vocabulary.
Okay, well, we should get it like a Webster's dictionary. They're
Oh.
an encyclopedia. I have several.
Okay, well, we can
Okay.
definitely move those here.
All right. Gosh, do I need to go down there?
Yeah, no. You should come over here. I will set up the land sale, make sure it all goes smoothly.
You're
Come
not
to
just
me,
trying
Folly,
to-
and
Uh-huh.
disappear.
Oh, I don't know about disappearing. Hold up now.
Whoa. Why? I turned down like, whoa. No with the disappearing. That wasn't in the contract. No disappearing.
Eternity. Fulfillment. Paint. Live.
More of an actress.
Die.
Screenwriter. On the ad break.
the chat, once you say that you're an
Sponsor role.
actor,
Well, no,
would-
we were on the break. I'm not
Yeah.
I'm responding.
No, that's
okay.
verbally. Yeah.
Yeah.
no, I know you're answering verbally. I need
Read
to
the
think.
phone. Oh. So the chat's probably just very confused. Like, who's this person typing in all caps? Why am I in the mid band?
It's all of them, like all of their names. Imagine it's just your
Oh.
regular chatters.
But all the names have been changed. Oh, that's a little spooky. But all, yeah, okay. That's a little spooky.
Apparently, they're your biggest
have-
fan, as they're now all your fans.
They are.
Once you say you're an actress, the
Mhm.
chat instead replaces the word paint with Totentans. But the rest stays the same. Live, die, come to me.
That's not a nice, isn't that a classical piece of music? Totentans.
This is where Arthur is more of a historian than Pope.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why we're doing stuff by this at this moment, but sure.
And I'm fluent in German, and I'm just like,
I am not. Oh, dance the dead.
It means
Oh.
happy puppy dance is what that means. That's
Happy
what it means. Happy
puppy
puppy
dance.
dance.
No,
Mhm.
dance of death. Okay.
Oh.
Look, no. House. You can. I know you're not used to somebody that has necessarily this vocabulary and has already passed through their vampiric edgy phase. You have an opportunity here to have a kindred care for you. And I actually do mean care. But you have to dial the evil back a good 70 degrees, okay? Like, you need to dial the edginess back. Otherwise, if I perish here, the next thing that's going to happen is arson. And you aren't going to like that. You like water, you like darkness, not fire. And I can tell you when I go, fire is what comes next. So let's try and make it so that Folly can come here, take care of you, be creative, feed the darkness, but also still be Folly, as opposed to that, wash rag that you done rang out earlier. And we both know from that Lasombra that was not coming from quality stock.
There's a voice that answers, Arthur.
Oh,
Mhm.
So you give folly as a sacrifice.
I did not say that.
I accept. The voice comes from beyond the rubble, beyond the dark.
I did not say that. As the eyes go reptilian,
ooh.
you do not get to assume anything of me. If we're negotiating, we're negotiating.
This was totally the right time to start playing that song in my background, by the way.
Make a composure intimidation.
No. This is resolve persuasion with a negotiation specialty.
You're not trying to
Ooh.
cow it into...
No. I am. If we're dealing with the devil, you're going to meet this devil and we're going to deal.
Then go ahead. Difficulty 5. Resolve persuasion negotiation.
I'll spend willpower to reroll.
Oh.
For successes,
Yar.
that becomes 5 successes.
5. So not a bestial failure. Yay.
Not a bestial failure. Through sheer force of will,
Yeah.
the rest of the rubble crumbles before it. The darkness of the other room, the oppressive darkness, recedes. The cellar, because now that you can see, cellar. And trapped in the cellar, pile of ash, bearing the goth clothes of one Damien. The house feels less oppressive now. Darkness clings, but it's not malevolent. One could say it's be willing to hear what you have to.
You took an old one, but you took an idiot. Dark was obsessive. And by your own beloved clan's word, an idiot. I cannot give you a keeper of worth at this point. Not of that clan, no. Too many of them have died, and the good ones know better than to come here just now. But I think Folly is a good fit as long as you do not let your hunger rule you. What say you?
Upstairs, you hear a buzz. You see the soft light of a very probably old and not very strong light bulb turned itself on.
40-watt incandescent.
Yeah, sort of.
All right. I'll see about making it so. So, Folly, how'd you like to
Yes.
have help with the moving payments and everything?
I suppose that would be acceptable.
This place has a history. It used to be a club.
It used to be a club when?
Oh, not too long ago.
Oh, not so long ago. Okay, well, I guess recent's fine.
But you can make this place a home.
I'll keep my current place as well for streaming. Also, I don't know if it's safe for Fred and where's my turtle's name? Fred and Paul.
I'm certain if things are a proper symbiosis, they should be fine.
I'll bring Fred for starters. Can't risk Paul.
Fair enough. But
All
as
right, I'll cancel the rest of my stream and head over and we can hash out the details, I guess.
I'll make certain I already pulled this place up on all of my retail ends and realtor stuff, so I can see about making sure that its title, its history, and everything is nice and clean and then in your possession.
Lovely. Beautiful. All right, well, hold on. And I come back from the ad break just ends and I'm like, we are back with the 100 baby challenge on The Sims 4. However, I must let you know, while on break, I got a very interesting phone call involving a very exciting project that we're going to see in the future. So, unfortunately, I have to call today's stream early, but we will be back tomorrow at our regularly scheduled time for more Frolicking with Folly. Thank you. Everyone have a wonderful day. And then I'll end. There's little chibi dances of little animations and the whole works.
Your chat came back to normal.
Uh-huh.
They're saying everything that they would normally say, goodbye, blah blah blah, why so soon, blah blah blah, poggers. It doesn't.
And then I'll post a teaser on my Instagram stories later or something of the exterior, or not the exterior shot of the house. She knows better than that. She has stalkers always, constantly.
Mhm.
But she'll post a teaser later, and she will go, "All right, I'm gonna have a snack, and then Jack will drive me over, I guess."
All right, I'll see you over at the green. It's not far away from there anyway.
Okay, half an hour, 45 minutes.
45 sounds good.
Wonderful. You know what? I'll just bring Daniel with. He can drink there. She likes him intoxicated.
And with that, we're gonna move on to middle of downtown. Cops are finally gone. Took an hour and 15 minutes. They wanted to make sure. Eventually, they caught sight of someone acting suspicious, wearing what appears to be a hockey jersey. And so they left. They will, for all of you at home, curious, they will basically arrest a homeless person, a houseless guy that did absolutely nothing wrong, and they'll be released the next day. Case of mistaken identity. They have yet to find the mysterious bath salt rampager. But the fallout of that, we'll see next week. First, Florian Lucky.
So once the cops leave, Lori pulls out the phone, calls Lucky on the brand new phone that she just bought him. Is like,
But she doesn't answer. You'd have to wait. You have to call his actual phone.
why? She made you bring it with you. Like we were walking out the door and
his
she.
truck.
Oh, and she goes, "Fuck." He left it in the truck. All right. Then he calls the other phone. Pick up. Pick up. Pick up. Pick up. Pick up. Pick up.
In
pick up.
this time period, he has used grass, right, to sort of like rub off any blood on himself in case somebody like came upon him.
What color is your jersey? Is it the exact same you're wearing?
Black.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it's already harder to...
Yeah. Now, since she's calling on his flip phone, the Razor, it's 2009, so it's only like 5 years old. It's pretty high tech. Have you seen these phones? He doesn't. He picks it up and it doesn't ring more than like 1.5 rings before he'll like pick it up.
Oh yeah, she's just being that kind of. She's in that state.
Yeah.
Ditch the jersey. Go out the side door. I'll meet you with a car. We'll get in the car and then we'll talk.
Okay. Hangs up. Just walks out.
She's
because
gonna
he's
go-
not indoors. He's like by the side, right? And I'm not wearing I'm wearing a t-shirt, not my A shirt. I'm so sorry. So I can't take it right now because it's the wrong shirt. Anyway, so he takes off the jersey and he heads on down towards the side out that way.
Yeah, when I misspoke, she meant like the side gate, not side door. And she will have boosted a generic sedan. Oop.
Oh, no.
Lost.
Oh.
there he
he's
is.
back.
Back. Yay!
Yay!
House was getting revenge.
Uh-huh.
Happens.
So
happens.
let's just switch Florian Folly again.
I mean,
And
their names are very close.
Lucky and Flory and me, and oh my god, everything is all over the place. What is going on?
I am Artie. No,
The house is getting vengeance.
There we go.
so
Hello.
scary. I have so many worries.
You were saying.
Concerns.
So she is going to steal a generic sedan because it's, just whatever generic sedan she can grab on the street, off one of the side streets, and pull up next to the, do a slight drive-by of the side of this orphanage as she sighs and then hits the unlock
Boomer.
button and waits.
He he's waiting so that as he sees you coming up, he just sort of moves so that it's like that kind of slightly fluid, right? You just sort of slow down and he's there to pick open the door and sort of slip in. You probably don't have to fully 100% stop as he sort of comes in and shuts the door.
Cool. So, how's your day been?
Oh, I think you saw.
Yes, don't worry. A mad, crazy man, with inverted colors of what you're wearing, was given bath salts and went on a rampage. It was horribly traumatic.
How many people were killed?
I don't know. Not enough.
After an hour and 15 minutes, there are no traces of the ambulances left.
There weren't enough bodies. A bunch of people were injured. You didn't massacre a bunch of people. Oh, sorry if shooting you, by the way. Mostly. Oh, I needed to get your attention. Kind of slow you down.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah, you should do something about that.
It'll be fine by tomorrow.
Hopefully. Okay, so I have some. I was letting it go. I was letting it go. Things were being okay, but now we've got random possessed princelings who think they actually know anything, and they do not actually know anything at all. It's very upsetting. What did Hetty have you doing here? Like, what was your job? How can I help you do your job better if I don't know what your job is?
My job is to protect a town.
Okay. Anything else? Is there anything that goes with that? Are you supposed to provide certain intel? Are there particular family lineages that go with that? Is there, murders attached to any of the... You don't know what I'm talking about, do you?
No. I'm supposed to protect a town. That's
so
it.
What? Just protect a town. Sometimes she does not give it...
But the town doesn't exist anymore.
Okay, so... Alright, okay. How does this exist? Have you spoken with her? And you can see that she's going through like 6 different accents every time she's talking to you. Like, there's no consistency whatsoever.
Yeah. And like, this is very unlike her. And so he's trying to like, he's not quite certain what to make of it, but he also has just been freaked out by a thing, but he doesn't exactly know what it was. Do you know what I mean? Like, so like there's, it's like a little bit of a surreal moment in general.
Okay. What did Hetty tell you?
And you can tell that he's got this kind of struggle. It's not like a deep existential struggle, but more like there's protocol and he's not quite certain. And like you can see him, he's kind of going through like checks and minuses, right? Like he's kind of trying to going through like I'm not supposed to say anything, but this is Fleury, so maybe I should, but like it's kind of like trying to like work out like what can be said and what can't.
You haven't reacted or responded to any of the passcodes or calls and responses. So I'm assuming she told you jack shit.
What are you talking about?
She told you jack shit. Fucking hell. And she pulls out at this, like she's got her phone sitting in the glove compartment in the thing, and she pushes a button, and she goes, Giordani, she told him jack shit. And like, just like as a voice message to send out later. Hi.
Don't know
My
what you're
name
talking
is
about.
Fleury. I kill people for a living, usually attached to a certain group of people for certain purposes. Your sire and my grandsire and a couple other people were a coterie. They do things. Usually involving liberation of trafficked individuals for various purposes.
Right.
You don't know anything about anything that's actually going on, and you don't know anything.
No, that's it's something different. Although Yuma told me to said something about you, but no.
Yes, I am very good at what I do, which is killing people. That's an enjoyment of mine. But I usually work for the coterie, ensuring that certain complications end up dead.
No. So
and
people are out to get Hetty.
Yes, because she is part of a liberation coterie that acts against certain political establishments.
Well,
and
I mean,
liberates individuals. But that's not a surprise. They're out to get all of us.
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I know what Hetty does, but I don't know who these other people are.
That's painfully obvious. And usually when I come to an endpoint individual, they at least are given the passcodes so that we can pass forward the beginning of this conversation.
Look, Hetty is a liberator. She saves people and she frees them from bondage. And she sometimes sets things on fire, houses and
Barracks,
those
armories, that one time
Yes.
of a brothel and 3 Turkish baths. But yes, go on.
But when you liberate people, they have to go somewhere where they'll be safe. And that was my job, to keep the people safe and out of the way. And so I was the end point, and I kept people safe.
See, that's the thing that's really weird about this whole thing. Usually, the endpoints at least have the codes, right? And when I talk to them, they know. I and my Zalmadi, we traverse, we travel, we go places. We kill people. It's fun. I enjoy it. I also get paid a shit ton of money for it. Positives. But it means that I can go to various endpoints and not have a problem or draw attention or be a thing to be seen. Unlike, Hetty showing up somewhere. But Hetty shows up somewhere, or something happens, or in the case that Vyuma that might be speaking of, I'm assuming he's addressing the particular issue of the members of the Hand of the Sabbat that he asked me to remove.
I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe, but
that happened, and that was the last time I was in Montreal for any given period of time, and I thought she was here for that, but it could be wrong.
he said that you were here. You did something to help her.
Usually what I do to help people is murder.
I
Yes,
don't,
she arranges the liberation, and I arrange the stabbing through the back of the neck of the person who's enslaving them.
No, you travel, but I'm not supposed to travel.
No.
I wasn't supposed to go anywhere.
Nope. But usually I can have conversations and you know what's going to happen, and you at least know that people are out there when this is a much bigger thing and you don't know anything about this.
Our thing was, I don't think you couldn't have come to my town without raising suspicion.
Lucky.
Mm.
Do you know who I was before I became a Ravnos? Although admittedly, technically, I guess I was always Ravnos. Just the name changed.
No.
I'm Romani. I go anywhere. No one stops me. I show up
Well,
somewhere, it doesn't matter. I will always fit in. Or more accurately, I will always stand out, but I'll stand out in a way that means it's intentional.
My town had not many people in it. It's very small. Couple hundred. It wasn't connected to any of these things.
How many
It was
people did
just,
Hetty send to you?
Well, that all happened well before I was born. They came mostly in the 18th century, early 19th century. Mostly we didn't get new people after 1865, but just people lived there. That was their home.
So why did she
It
turn you
was-
for a place where she wasn't sending people? Or
Because
more
they had
accurately,
to
why
be
did she
kept
not send?
safe.
No. Usually, if they're already freed, they don't need to be kept further safe. So something else is going on in that town.
No, but it was destroyed. I actually couldn't keep it safe in the end.
Okay, so she came back, but she didn't tell you anything. She didn't further employ you.
No, I haven't seen her since. I've been looking for her. That's why I traveled. Because my mission was
Wait, so you haven't
invalidated.
seen her since she installed you in this town?
Well, she would come by once or twice, but I hadn't seen her since maybe the 30s, 40s maybe.
I mean, look, the war was complicated and lots of things happened. Lots of things happened.
I wasn't part of a. You said you traveled. I was more like the end of the railroad stop that everybody forgot, and I think we were supposed to stay forgotten. But what I do, my title, is about building and keeping the community safe and together. I'm a. It's a place where the water spirits still dance. They came over from Africa and they still are out there in the harbor. And it's special. It keeps... You can't always do everything in any place. Sometimes you need special places to do certain things, not negative things, but positive things. And that place had a lineage to do important things. And I wasn't meant to do anything else but keep the people there safe, help them build the church, their homes, keep them in good spirits, keep them happy-go-lucky. That was all. And if somebody or something came, stop them from doing that and to keep the place not seen. There were... But I hadn't seen her for a long time. And I don't know anything about all these other people that you mentioned, or but I just came here because I'd heard she'd been here once.
She's been here more than once as far as I know, but that's not a surprise. She goes many places. They all do. Although,
So
to be
what
fair,
do
she
you
isn't
do?
currently... What do I do? Oh, I kill people.
I mean, you say you kill people, but that... I mean...
Oh, to be perfectly frank, usually what happens is if me and Zalmati are together, I make them all, with whoever is the current target, hallucinate something horribly, horribly horrific, usually involving his sexual organs being removed painfully with a, nail file or something. And then my Zalmati will either drain them fully or stab them and then rip their throats out. It's
This
very
is a
pleasant.
lot of violence, but what are you doing?
You protect people in your way. And I remove the threats. You might be the shield, but we're the dagger in the dark. And we travel. And occasionally we remove certain other things. And lots of people.
She told me that people like you are special and important. I assume it's similar, at least. And that you're always guests. The travelers, she says, are always guests. Protected. But I'd never met anybody else similar to me until I left.
Let me phrase that. You've never met another vampire before, or you never met another member of our group?
No, vampires.
Oh. Oh, and she like full on slams the brakes and like looks at you. Hits the button for record again. Giordani, she left him alone and didn't even tell him what was going on. And then she goes off in Roma. Do you speak Roma?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So this is not the cant that would be common,
Yeah.
and she's just going off in what effectively is her first language to her
Yeah.
grandfather about the fact that Hetty left you alone, did not explain anything about vampire society, did not explain anything other than the fact you're supposed to guard this one place, and then GTFO'd. And she's like, I'm not training the newborn. I'm turning that over to Artie. And she clicks, like, close the message. And then it's like, and she'll go back. It's like, sorry about that. I had to get some thoughts out of my head. You know, her leaving you alone like that is so horribly irresponsible on so many levels.
It would have been fine had the town not been destroyed.
But you can never predict that. Everything gets destroyed or just ends. Everything ends.
I was supposed to keep it safe, though.
You did. You kept it safe, and then something else came along that's more powerful than you and utterly destroyed what you had. That's why you move. You keep going.
But I wasn't at home when it happened. I'd been given permission by the elders to go to Montreal for the weekend, and when I came back, everything was gone. They just destroyed everything.
So, okay. This is a conversation that usually would require more delicate personalities than I am. I guess I can play the part. All right, then. Lucky. We are vampires. We hunt in the dark. We occasionally protect kind, but they will die. Their lineages will end. A government will come in and burn them out. People across the aisle or across the river will decide that they don't want you here. They don't want your kind here. Fill in whatever blank you want.
That's why what we had was special. Because that was the place where they went. The people who had nowhere else to go went, and where they stayed.
Until it wasn't. And none of those places are going to be permanent. Never will. They're beautiful in their fleetingness. But if you tie your entire identity to a place, lucky. The old ones think that they cannot travel beyond the water, that they cannot move beyond the soil that they were born in. But time progresses all things. And if you do not change, if you become stagnant, that is torpor. That is when you desire to sleep and never awaken, but you do not die. You are not dead yet.
Well,
you need to stop thinking that you are.
No, that's not. I'm waiting for Hetty. I'm doing my best until she gets here.
But you're not waiting for Hetty. You're waiting for Godot. And Godot never comes when you wait for him. You need to come and go.
I've been looking. Been looking for. That's why I'm here. But we don't have a lot of time before Val kills us all. Artie said so. So I'm just trying to do my best until that happens.
Artie's also having. Look, Artie's also having. Rajul is having a mental breakdown over his mommy issues. You're having stagnancy issues and overly identifying, and this is why I don't talk to newborns about the complexity of family dynamics.
I'm not new.
But you're still all nice and shiny and you haven't gotten the buff off yet.
No. I'm not the same as you, but I'm not new. It's just we had a different path.
And your path is good. But you're now on a path that you're not new, that you are new to.
That's not a path I'm supposed to be on.
None of us are supposed to be on this path. We are by definition not supposed to exist.
No, that's not true. I mean, I don't know about you, but I am. I'm supposed to exist.
Lucky, our hearts don't beat. Our blood does not pump unless we force it to. We are supposed
Yes.
to be dead, but we are still here.
No. Maybe for others, but that's not the case. I am a gift. What I have is an honor.
And mine was a salvation. But it doesn't mean that it is not also a curse and a trap and an eternity.
No, I don't think so. I mean, it might be different for, I mean, I know others. I don't think it's the same with you because you are different than them, those out there from that place. But for them, I think it's different. I don't think they do it right. You understand things about old worlds, not Europe. That's not what I mean. But the other worlds, and you understand things about that, so it might be different for you. And I know that for them, the way they talk, they seem to think all of this is a terrible curse. And I think it's different for them. They don't have the rituals right, I don't think. But
No,
for
they
me,
have
this
the
was
rituals right. They have their rituals right. All of I've traversed almost every continent on this globe. I've not been to Antarctica. I don't do ice. Not my field. Not a fan. Each have their rituals, and each do their rituals right. They're different. That doesn't make them wrong.
I don't speak to them, but
we are. We are the monsters in the dark. And the threat that will never end. And we are also the salvation that can come in that dark.
No. That may be where you're from, but that is not where I'm from. I am a complicated situation. But what I am is something holy. To be what I am, very few people get to be who I am. To be chosen to do this is something beautiful, and only the bravest and the strongest can become who I am. It is something that only those who are blessed and who make it's a big sacrifice to make, but it's a sacrifice that only those who are the most worthy can make. And to take on the struggle, the sacrifice is something beautiful.
Wow,
it's always difficult, but it's beautiful.
Lucky. Not all of us were given a choice to turn or embrace. 99% of us, in fact, weren't.
That's what I said when I said I'm not like them.
Yes, you were lucky. Oh, so very lucky to be given an uninformed choice.
Oh, I was informed of what it's like for us.
No, you were informed about what she wanted you to know about how to protect the people. But not the fact that you are now part of a world that as much as you can move, as much as I, who am eternally bound outside of, I still recognize the players. I still see what they are. I wasn't given a choice to be turned, Lucky. Admittedly, it was my salvation, and I do not regret it. I very rarely regret anything that I do. Instead, it was a gift from my great uncle, Giordani. Technically, I guess he's my great uncle, if we want to be very technical about it. But his child, Casimir, turned me after an Ottoman soldier, well, technically he was an Ottoman officer and also an asshole, shot me and my husband,
I'm sorry.
and my child. I have an unlife. They are dead. My other child survived, luckily. And then I went on a slight murder spree where I murdered a whole bunch of those Ottoman soldiers. It was very liberating and quite good for revenge. And my mental health, for what it is. But some are not given that choice. Some, like Folly, are seen, identified, marked as special by someone else, and they want that special thing. And so they are turned, so that special thing can never be taken away. Artie is another one of those. His sire saw something special in him. And Rajul, unfortunately, well, I don't know his story. I don't presume to ask. But I know that his sire saw something special that they wanted, and they took. And now they're very upset that that toy that they had, that special shiny thing that was only theirs, theoretically, is not theirs anymore. And so they want to break that shiny thing. And you don't kill something, you break it first. So yes, Val is a danger, and one we should be aware of. But we shouldn't be nihilistic about things.
I mean, Artie has taught me most of what I know about this society. And he has never, he knows much. And when he says that Val will not kill him, but will kill the things he cares about, and that's us, I don't think he's wrong.
I don't think he's wrong, but he could be mistaken. No one is infallible. Not me, not Artie. Not Casimir, not Giordani, not Hetty. No one.
You should know. I don't know much about all of that. But I do know my history.
Which parts?
Many. But I know this history is not the same as the people who are here.
You know the word history, right? In Greek.
Most of my studying is not from Greece.
It means story.
Yes.
Everyone has it. But which one is the truth, Lucky?
I imagine they're all true in their own way. There is a proverb. It is... Let me think. I have to translate it from the original. We do not mean... We do not mean that what we say is true.
And yet we do not mean that what we do not mean is not true.
I think
Lucky.
we're gonna end on that tonight.
Yeah.
Drive where, Flory?
Flory is going to take Lucky to a industrial wharf area, and we're going to burn all of his clothes and then we are going to put she's probably got like she grabbed her extra jacket, so she's gonna have him wear that, and then we're going to go back to Artie's place because we can at least sneak in through the back door there, and it's like, that's at least we can get you clothes there, but we need to clean you up.
Cool. Just noting it down so I know.
Yeah, we're also going to burn the car.
The pickup truck?
No, the car she stole that we're driving in. I'm not burning the pickup. I'm burning the stolen vehicle.
Well, on that,
the fire, of course, because that leads to frenzy.
Yes. But we'll see that next week. Thank you, in the meantime, everyone, for coming tonight. Of course, we went over. I stopped looking at the time anyway.
Oh, yeah. They're burning stuff. We're just having cocktails. Like, so about this house.
I'm so worried about that.
Yeah, one's talking about building, the other one's talking about burning down.
It'll be fine.
It kind of fits. And I have like half a page of notes of things that I need to set up. But on that, let's do same order as we did the intros. Players, tell us, give us the love for tonight, tell us who you are, where we can find you, all of that good stuff. Begin with, apparently, the cleaner of this city now, Flory.
I'm gonna start.
He's been a cleaner for a while.
I would like to point out, A, I'm a cleaner for a while, and B, I would like to point out that Flory is going to has sent a strongly worded letter. It was also part of the mail that got sent out. The package that got sent to the cops. There's another strongly worded letter that went to the prince, and it is in all block caps. That is like, if you think you're the prince of this fucking city, then you are going to pay me. Here is my itemized bill. If you want to be the prince of this city, you're gonna start paying for the privilege. I've been taking care of your shit. Deal with it. It does not have a contact number. It's just an itemized receipt. It's a strongly worded letter. But hi, everyone. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax. Thanks, everybody. I love every minute of this. I love the fact that we are all following certain stereotypes for our clans, but at the same time, we avoid the major stereotypes because, hi, the Ravnos is not the chaos child here.
Only sometimes. Only sometimes when she means to be.
When I mean to be. Or I'm stealing art. Those are two things, but those are different. But, hi. So I appreciate every minute of this. I love that moment at the end between, Flory and Lucky, where it's just like, oh, you don't know shit. Hi. Yeah, because Trooper and I have been thinking about this for a while, that there needs to be a conversation because Flory knows stuff that Lucky doesn't know, and Flory doesn't know that Lucky doesn't know. And it'd be like, oh, okay, well. So that was fun. I loved all of the let's buy Folly a house. And I fully am looking forward to the entire, like, you know, there's like really these two really famous flipper shows on HGTV, one of whom is like in Minneapolis, St. Paul, where she buys historic homes or like on $1 or like on that are on like and renos them all and then sells them. I'm like, oh look, Folly's going to live stream her reno of her
Gonna
house.
make great content for the vlogs.
It'll make all the content.
I'm a little concerned that she's going to end up being desiccated and never leave the house like the last one. That actually she's just been she was basically turned into a sacrifice by Artie, and she's going to be stuck there forever, never leaving, and then just like getting all like Sith, like pale, dark eyes.
It'd be terrible for my skin.
Yeah, it's okay. We can put UV lamps in. Not UV, UVB, not UVA, UVB. And I get to play. This is so wonderful. I also loved all of, Artie's, if you hurt me, I'll hurt you. Bad house. bad house. I'm going to spritzing you with holy water now. Also, apparently, black is somewhere. I'm sure that won't be a future problem. But as for me, hey y'all, you can find me at Deirdre Donlan on Twitter, or Proxico Thesmiophoria as you see me around here on Twitch. And I will be doing a very special stream on Thursday. A very special stream on Thursday. Surprise. You'll have to find out. And then Saturday over on my channel, as we come back for more A Song of Agapia's Fortune, I almost want to have them whistling up a mountain as they deal with a lich in its cult, and plants that are friendly and want to hug you. And that's Saturday nights for our high-level D&D campaign. And then Sunday there are 5 episodes left of Witcher Roads Home, and things are getting interesting. Things are very interesting. Sightseeing occurred last week, or on Sunday, last night. There was sightseeing.
Bull was thoroughly cleansed.
The bowl was so thoroughly cleansed. Multiple
Just-
times.
Lean out that bowl.
We went
but-
into all the nooks and crannies.
Yep. And then
Yeah.
I'm also doing a bunch of streams during the day. I did one earlier today where I'm working on streaming the game dev and lore development for a new project that is coming after Witcher, and you can check those out if you want to see them. But I can't wait to come back on next Monday, and yeah. Hey Artie, I dealt with the problem. I'm sending another bill to the prince. If he thinks he's the prince, I'm sending him another bill. Also, hi. Somebody mentioned that Flory was being considered for Herald. No. Flory should have been offered the sheriff's position, motherfucker. I did so much work here.
They wanted Folly for
Um,
Harold, and that's a mistake.
Artie!
Hi, everybody. Their moments have been had. First business and pleasure. Hey, everybody. Pope here. Pope World Ball on Twitter, Pope World Ball on Twitch. Lurking on your streams. If you want to see more of this silly face, well, aside from here, which be here. Like, there are surprises. Like, you need to be here for all the surprises. And then Saturday, hanging out over at Praxis channel for more Song of Agapia's Fortune, where if having to banish everything that looks like a tree on the way up the mountain, I can only do that so often. So we'll see if banishing large plant life becomes a trend. But tonight it was an absolute joy being here with this amazing crew. Whether it's that amazing heart-to-heart scene that we ended on between Flory and Lucky, and getting a great deal more of an insight into both those characters than we've had for an entire season, really. So no, that was amazing to see. And then I already got to be in a horror movie, guest starring Folly. It was low budget, but we got through it. I am looking forward to having Folly as a neighbor, at least near the green. That way it's like, okay, we're going to check on the building, and then we're going to go check on Mr. House and Ms. Watson. I'm certain there's a show in there somewhere between a haunted house and a
Look, there was that TV
vampiric
show
streamer.
that wanted me to have vampires, maybe like entice them a little bit more with this as a set location. Perfect amount of spook.
Yeah.
Only a
So-
few crew members will go missing. It'll be fine.
Again, just like if you're doing anything in Russia, you have to pay for corruption. Here in Montreal, you have to pay sacrifices. So Yes, no, it
A little
is.
sacrifice.
Yeah, just like you just have to add 3 crew members on there and increase the insurance. Uh, totally doable.
Exactly. So easy.
Totally doable. But yeah, no, thank all of you for being here to share in all of this craziness coming out of the mind of Simon and the rest of these wonderful people. Where it's live VOD YouTube stories, nothing without all of its audience. You're much part of this as we are. Take care of yourselves and one another. See you soon.
Lucky.
It is I, Trooper SJP, and I was playing Lucky. So I'm going to give my love. First off, Artie is scary. Can I just say that? Artie is scary. Pope. Just like there was that little switch, and I was like, ooh. Just like there was a little switch that turned, and I was like, oh, that's the other Artie. That's the Artie from before that will do some bad stuff. And I was like, oh, so good. What presence. So scary. Loved it. I was like, oh, I'm scared now because such good presence. Also, I love Lindy for the matter of factness of it all. You know, like there's a tentacle, you know, like just like, you know, you're not going to go mess up your stream. Do you know what I mean? And I appreciate that very much.
Never. He didn't get the message.
No.
He didn't get the message. Like, I did what I could.
I love how much Folly cares about other people who are also named Folly and also herself. And I thought that, you know, and I loved that tag team. They will make a pair of some sort.
One day she'll meet the others, and they'll be like,
Sure.
"Oh no," as well.
Yeah, I don't know. And then, gosh, you know, I loved that sort of moment where Flory had to have a conversation in Roma on the phone, and then also talked about some of her deep past, and I thought that was so beautiful. And I want to thank Simon for just feel like Simon must have read a number of horror short stories from like the 80s and 90s about creepy, and also the 70s about creepy houses, creepy haunted houses, all the ones where you are in there and you're like, no, you should leave. You know what I mean? Like, you do not want to do not buy that house in Amityville. It's a bet. Like, I know it's cheap, but there's a reason, and it's the serial killing murder. And then there it was so good. So well done.
I would like to point
and
out
so-
that the Amityville Horror House is 45 minutes from mine.
Is it really? With the
Yeah.
creepy windows?
And the whole event of the Amityville is 45 minutes.
Wow. Maybe Folly should just move into that house too. We're just going to have Folly just move into all the creepy houses. So worried. And I just want to, thank Simon for all of his, amazingness. And you can find me, today is Monday, Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. You can find me over at High Shelf Collective for Cyberpunk Red, Shadows Ascension, Shadows of the Red Death, GM'd by Simon. And also Lindy will be there. And she's super thirsty in that game. And in this game, she just wanted
There's
to drink
hot
people's blood.
widows.
There's
Yeah.
hot widows in that game. That's true. And then you can find me for my next RPG will be Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern over at my channel, Trooper SJP, for the finale of Crash Jones, Space Adventurer, and the Drynax Barbarians. He's in a desperate space. Will he be able to make it through? Find out. Tune in on Friday. And then I'm having a double header of some Tales from the Brinkwood on Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern over at Balrog 1911. And then at 8 p.m. Eastern for Witcher Road's Home over on Prax Regardless Euphoria's channel, where we will have shenanigans. And also on Thursday, you should totally watch Prax's surprise secret stream, because I don't know what it is, but I bet it'll be cool. And speaking of cool,
Segue. Folly.
Aw, shucks. Yeah, so that was super duper fun. Thank you, Simon. I was kind of like, hey, my game got canceled. You told me to let you know if that ever happened on a Monday. So, hi. And he said, I'll figure it out on the
Yeah.
drive home from work. My love goes to Pope, of course, for perpetual. Like, I feel like Folly at this rate, since she hasn't, and any of the other characters, is like Artie's personal secret tormentor. She doesn't realize that she's tormenting at all. She thinks like he's just okay to be around, which is better than most people, honestly. And he just cannot deal with her, and it's the best. But at the same time, he did stand up for her a little there. He wasn't like, yeah, have Folly as a sacrifice. Get over here, Folly. He said no. Bad house, bad. And she appreciated that. She might like him a little bit more now. So that was fantastic. I just had the beautiful mental image of him like going around with laptop, phone, like down the creepy steps, like spider webs going around, all sorts of creepy tentacle shadows, and Folly's just like in this LED like RGB room, like eating popcorn and Skittles because she eats food because she likes the crunch, the texture,
and also bones of her enemies.
And just the most like polar opposite scenarios being melted, and I was so here for it. I was also here for that conversation at the end between Flory and Lucky, because I was just like, oh, and also for Lucky just hunting people out of the way with a parking meter, like a hockey puck and hockey stick. That was a very entertaining mental image for me, and I was here for it. I was here for all of it. I was very excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. You could find me online at LaughLoveLindy, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, etc., where I am not a narcissist and I play tabletop RPGs. The next time you'll find me will be Wednesday, not tomorrow, day after tomorrow, for Cyberpunk Red, where everything is going swell. It's fine, but it'll be fine, maybe. And then on Saturday, where things are definitely not fine, for our Aliens comeback, which I'm very excited about. Aliens, Blade Runners, Predators, oh, so many terrible, wonderful things all smashed together. So tune in for that. And then next Monday, I'll probably be back on my own channel with the new batch. But if not, I'll yell at Simon again. So that's me.
Wait, you forgot Sunday.
Oh, it's Sunday for Witcher. I also forgot Tuesday for Stargate. Yes, Sunday for Witcher, where, oh my gosh, decisions were made last night.
No, it's fine. You just completely forgot about it. It's been 24 hours and you just completely forgot about it.
No, if
That's
you ask
all right.
Trooper, I came on earlier today and I was like, last night though. we only talked about it for like an hour before we're like, we need to do work. So yes, no, yeah, I totally forgot about it. Whatever. I think Brenna's trying to forget. No, she's not. She's just conflicted. Poor Bean. Yeah, that was exciting. Tune in for the consequences of an emotionally inept Witcher and an intimacy issued wage on Witcher on Sunday. There also has been flaying, so do with that what you will. And then not tomorrow night, next Tuesday for Stargate, and that'll be super fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you to the four of you for coming. I didn't say it after each one, so I kept it for the end. But thank you so much, players, for taking time off of your Lunday. Wow, I'm starting to revert to French. Monday evening to come play Vampire with me. Thank you to everyone in chat for all the fun messages, all the subs, all the follows, the raids. Thank you so much to the new faces too. Welcome, hi, and me Wednesday over on High Shelf Collective for the penultimate episode of Cyberpunk Red, Shadows of the Red Death. Then on Saturday for some Scion at 1 p.m. Eastern. And then Sunday, because I do not forget, Sunday is the morning after of our sightseeing tour of Oxenford. And potentially things are getting serious.
Great sights. There's mountains, valleys. Wait, what?
Oh, wait,
Yes.
it's getting serious between you two? Oh, interesting. Wow. Oh, I didn't realize that now that you've admitted your feelings to each other, I mean, this is going to make good stories. The seriousness.
Sure. And then we will see you next week here for a burning of the evidence and more. I have so many shit that I wrote down, y'all. Thank you so much for coming, everyone, and have yourselves a good night. Bye-bye.